Hello, everyone.
Good morning,
Morning.
sir.
Good morning, sir.
How's everybody?
Okay lang, sir. Doing good, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. I just would like to ask all the Group 5 performance
Yes, sir.
appraisal and reward. This will be our topic for today. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please get ready for your presentations, particularly all the videos. Make sure that everything is ready, particularly the video recorder. Is the video recorder is ready now?
Already starting, sir.
Okay, very good. At this point in time, we still have 5 minutes before 8 o'clock. While we are preparing for the video, make sure that there will be no troubles in playing all the videos. Okay, I'll be giving you 3 minutes or 2 minutes can do to open all your microphone and to say hi and hello to your neighbors, to your friends, to your best mate, to your chatmate, to your crush, to your idol, and even to your bedmates. Go ahead, open all the microphone, please.
Hello, Melena.
Good morning, Crush.
Hello, everyone. Hi,
Wow,
Arya.
crush.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. God bless everyone. Good morning.
Hi, Georgette.
Crush, ay, about?
Hi, sir.
Ay, about?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
Good morning.
Okay, na this.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Peter, great morning to you.
Same, sir. Good morning.
Ay, about? Ay, about? Sige na, Chika, nakamuda. This is
Ben,
for part
good
of
morning,
our
Ben.
energizer. Open the microphone, please. You still have number of minutes for you to do the hi and hellos.
Aryan, good luck. God bless you.
Hello, Christina. Melena, kamusta ang dynamite?
Okay, good sa. Order ka mo na naman.
Go, Jordan.
Go, Melena, lagaw lang ah.
Wala
Oy,
kasi
wala.
nakahagat sa akin.
Lagaw.
Nakakagto sa suga ba? Denver, where are you
sir.
from? Hindi ako nakasarang dahil sa mga Graceland kaina.
Sir, gusto mo daw
Denver.
dynamite, sir? Padalaan ka ni Melena, sir.
Ay, it's okay lang. Kilanglan niya na sa iyang negosyo. Nang makahang, amo na siyang dynamite.
Oo, sir.
Ay,
sir.
hindi ko dahil pasensya, giday. Hindi ko yung kahang.
Okay, sir.
Denver, taga-diin ka. Wala kasi may nag-invite sa ako na maligo sa suba, maligo sa sapa. Nugbas ang kamot. Nag-snap na ko ni Denver May
Yan,
Some more hi hellos.
Bel, good morning, Jobel.
Pinag-itoon ka natin. Medj pa lang. Paligo na, Pip.
Ang Binalbagan. Where are you from Binalbagan, Denver? Denver, where are you from Binalbagan?
San Vicente, sir.
Ay, aba, taga Isabela, Kunoy.
Napadahay lang, sir.
Kag nagtudlo ko na sa Binalbagan campus bala. Sang 2012, 2013.
Hazel.
Hello, Mels. Good morning.
Mugtaw ka na da.
Mugtaw na. Okay, good luck.
God bless, Kay.
All right, breaker. It's almost 8:02 on my watch here, and any moment from now, we're about to start with our class discussions. And I will expect everybody that there will still be a bombastic, presentations of Group 5. This time on Module 5, August 21, 2021, it's Ninoy Aquino's death anniversary. And all of the us Filipino people are celebrating for the death anniversary, for the good thing that Ninoy Aquino was able to contribute to all Filipino people. Would you like to know that one of the good things Ninoy Aquino was able to contribute? It's all about people power, right? And we restore freedom and democracy here in the Republic of the Philippines, no? And his wife, Corazon Aquino, became the first lady president of the Republic of the Philippines. So today, August 21, 2021, Saturday, another topic on Module 5, Week 5, is going to be given to us by the Group 5. This time, we will be talking about appraisal, correct?
Yes, sir.
And rewards. Performance appraisal and rewards as our topic for today, okay? And this is one of the reasons why employees stays long in the organization, because they are fully motivated of the different kinds of rewards, because rewards is form part of the needs of the employees, that they need to be appreciated, they need to be loved, they need to be given importance, they need to be appreciated, and they need to be given value and worth as an employee. If management won't give this to the employee, there will be no success in the organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to our class this morning, and we would like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Group 5 presentations on Module 5, Performance Appraisal and Rewards. Back to you, our moderator.
So guys, good morning. Before anything else, open to na aton nga cameras kay ma-check ta attendance or ma-picture taking ta. Guys, open ta camera.
Everybody please open all the cameras. Everybody, can you please open all the camera? Do it faster, please.
Sige na guys, dali na. Mary Ann, okay na.
May ara pa iban nga way ka open camera.
Guys, open na ka mo. Wala na ta time.
Just give us a count of 3. If they do not like, mark them absent.
Okay, sir. Okay, guys. Please be ready na. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay na, sir. Thank you.
You may proceed now. What about the video recording? Is it going on now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Documentor, screenshot, attendance, please get ready.
Yes, sir.
You may
Ma-start
now
na to,
proceed
sir.
for your presentations, Group 5. Good luck.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am,
sirs.
go ahead.
Okay. So let's start. Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, BSA 2A. It's a sunny day, Saturday, and you have Arian Casal Patrivo as your host for today. So we are now down to our 5th week in human behavior and organization, and I would like to welcome and acknowledge the presence of my dear classmates in today's event. Also, the presence of our classroom president, Mr. John Paul Castroverde, and of course, last but not the least, I would like to acknowledge with a big round of applause the presence of our beloved teacher, Mr. JJ Pesuenia. So to formally start this amazing and wonderful day, may I request everyone to please bow down your heads, for we will have our prayer.
There's no sound. Ay, nako.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You will let me through the fire and in darkest night. You were close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. Yeah. All my life you have been faithful. Oh, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yeah. Your goodness is running out. It's running out. Your goodness is running out. It's running out. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running out. It's running out. Your goodness is running out. It's running out. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna sing. Oh, gosh, 'cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God.
Yes, indeed, God has been so faithful. He's been so good sa ating life. So we have all the reason to praise and glorify His name. So to continue, at this point of time, let us all watch the following videos prepared by the group. So first would be the webinar etiquette, which to be followed by the Kamsi briefer. And then last, I know that we all miss Kamsi already, so let us all watch as well as join singing the Kamsi hymn.
Welcome to Carlos Hilado Memorial State College.
Let's get to know Kamsi first.
Before Carlos Hilado Memorial State College, there was
Negros Occidental School of Fisheries in Binalbagan in 1952.
Negros Occidental School of Arts and Trades in Talisay in 1954.
Bacolod City National Trade School in Barangay Alihis, Bacolod City in 1968.
And Negros Occidental Provincial Community College within the grounds of Negros Occidental High School, Bacolod City in 1970.
In 1983, Negros Occidental School of Arts and Trades, which later became Negros Occidental College of Arts and Trades, Bacolod City National Trade School, and Negros Occidental Provincial Community College, which found a home in Fortune Town, Barangay Estefania, Bacolod City, amalgamated into one state college known as Paglaom State College.
In 1994, Paglaom State College was renamed Carlos Hilado Memorial State College in honor of Congressman Carlos A. Hilado, who authored Republic Act 848, which created the Negros Occidental School of Arts and Trades.
In 2000, Negros Occidental School of Fisheries became part of the system of Carlos Hilado Memorial State College.
By virtue of Republic Act 11336, signed into law in 2019, Carlos Hilado Memorial State College is on a continuing journey towards becoming a state university in the province of Negros Occidental.
Our vision is to be a leading green institution of higher learning in the global community by 2030.
Our mark of distinction as an institution is green, which stands for the following.
Kamsi stands for the principles of good governance.
Kamsi strives to become a research-oriented and extension-driven institution.
Kamsi seeks to champion education for sustainable development.
Kamsi wants to contribute to nation building and social transformation.
Thus, green.
Our mission? We are a green institution committed to empower the youth and lifelong learners who will contribute to nation building and global transformation through quality instruction,
inclusive and creative teaching learning pedagogies,
relevant research,
social innovation,
dynamic partnership,
and active civic engagement
in a conducive and fulfilling environment for students, faculty, staff, and partners.
Our fundamental beliefs that guide us as we go about our mission are found in our 5 core values of
excellence, a commitment to give one's best and to do what is always right at all times.
Compassion, a desire and willingness to help others in times of distress and suffering.
Environment, a conscious effort to promote love and care for the environment.
Love of country, the use of one's talent, knowledge, and skills to contribute to the sustainable development of the Philippines.
And service. One's life is dedicated to fulfill a sense of purpose and mission.
In short, excels.
Throughout one's educational journey and experience at Carlos Hilado Memorial State College, a caption will be attributed as
a competent worker,
a compassionate being,
environmentally responsible,
a nation builder,
and an engaged citizen.
Green CAMC excels, empowering citizens
and shaping dreams for a sustainable world.
All right, so thank you for those videos, Miss Marielle. And now, before we proceed to Marielle. Okay, so, and now to proceed, before we proceed to another video, allow me first to give you these brain exercises. So, I know nga ang iban is groggy pa or ang iban is ara pa sa realm of their dreams since it's still early in the morning. So, we have prepared these brain exercises that will help us, of course, exercise our minds and condition amazingly our brain para magamit na siya properly during our topic discussion since nga manging wala pulo sini nga meeting if wala kita may matunan. So, these brain exercises contains logical questions that only needs your simple analysis para mag-answer. Or I think you could use your common sense man para mag-answer ne. So, Ms. Marielle, could you present the first activity? Okay, guys, I hope mag-participate ka mo ha ng ano lang ni sa hapos lang ni siya katama. And if you want to answer, just open your mic lang then ihamba lang ang imo answer. So for the first, a cruise ship is filled with people, but yet there isn't a single person on the board. How come? Again, a cruise ship is filled with people, but yet there isn't a single person on board. How come?
Taken sila tanan.
Huh?
They are all taken, married.
Very good. Siyempre, wala single, so married sila tanan. Thank you, Miss Hakulbe. And next. Okay, we have here, next. A doctor and a bus driver are both in love with the same woman, an attractive girl named Sarah. The bus driver had to go on a long bus trip that would last a week. Before he left, he gave Sarah 7 apples. Why?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Very good. Sagad-sagad. Yung sa mga BSA 2A. Yeah. Okay, last. Next, Miss Mariel. Okay, you are in a cabin and it is a pitch black. You have one match on you. Which do you light first? The newspaper, the lamp, the candle, or the fire? Ano yung mo i-light first, guys?
The match.
Very good, Mr. President. Oh, syempre, i-light mo danay ang match. So, so that was the last, no? And I hope nga ng condition na ang aton nga brain sa sininga time. So, and at this point of time, let us proceed to the another video. So this video will introduce to us our topic for today, which is performance appraisal and feedback. So let's start and enjoy watching, everyone.
How do I build a successful employee recognition program? How many times a day do you say, thank you? You probably say thanks to your barista. How do I build a successful employee recognition program? How many times a day do you say, thank you? You probably say thanks to your barista or someone who tells you that you forgot to zip up your backpack. Or maybe, how do I build a successful employee recognition program? How do I build a successful employee recognition program? How many times a day do you say, thank you? You probably say thanks to your barista or someone who tells you that you forgot to zip up your backpack. Or maybe you give a quick nod to a driver who lets you cross the road, or to someone who holds the door open for you. These are all quick, effortless acts of recognition. But does this continue through your workday? How about when you actually get into your office? At that point, what does meaningful recognition look like? What is employee recognition? Let's start with a basic definition of employee recognition. At its core, employee recognition is the open acknowledgement and expressed appreciation for someone's contributions to an organization. And it should be happening frequently and visibly. Why is employee recognition important? Because when companies prioritize having a culture of recognition, they quickly gain a competitive edge over other organizations. Employee recognition is powerful, and it can improve employee engagement, reduce turnover, increase productivity, boost morale, build purpose. The list keeps going. Sounds good, right? So where do you start? Develop a case for recognition. You'll need to get your team on board with recognition. Start by building a business case for your recognition program by tying it to your business objectives. This is the time to crunch some numbers. Think about the costs of a recognition program as well as the savings, such as time saved, increased productivity, and especially reduced turnover. Build a team of champions. This isn't the time to go it alone. Look for fellow team leaders to help conceptualize, promote, communicate, implement, and participate in your organization's new recognition program. Aim to get buy-in from key stakeholders and help them feel a sense of ownership. Understand the characteristics of effective recognition. Before jumping into an employee recognition program, you'll want to review the characteristics of effective recognition in order to set your team up for success. Recognition is most effective when it exhibits the following characteristics: timely, frequent, specific, visible, inclusive, and values-based. Follow recognition program best practices. Once your team is sold on recognition, you'll want to tailor your program to your organization's best practices. Start by defining what success looks like at your organization. What types of behaviors will be rewarded? How should desired behaviors be rewarded? How often should recognition occur? Who should recognition come from? Traditionally, recognition has been given top-down by managers to their direct reports. However, 360-degree recognition, coming from all levels, is the most effective. In fact, peer recognition is 36% more likely to have a positive impact on financial results than manager-only recognition. Use a multifaceted rewards and recognition program. Your recognition program should meet your team in the tools where they already work. Help them understand why they're being recognized and encourage them to replicate the behaviors that led to the recognition. By linking your recognition program with rewards, you'll avoid a drop-off in engagement that might occur otherwise, and you'll positively reinforce your organization's core values at the same time. Rollout. Once you've committed to a recognition solution, it's time to introduce it to your team. Anyone participating should be clued in on that program's purpose, how to use it, and when it will take effect. You'll want seamless integrations with your HRIS system and communication tools so that to communicate information about your recognition program frequently to your employees. Announce it at an all-hands meeting, set up pre-launch and post-launch trainings. If you have a recognition program that incorporates rewards, choose an appropriate reward to encourage adoption across your organization. Measure effectiveness over time. Finally, don't just set it and forget it. Even excellent recognition programs should evolve over time to stay effective. Solicit feedback from your team to understand the types of rewards they prefer, how individuals use the program, ways to improve, and the impact of recognition on business metrics. And that's it, which is a lot, really. Implementing a successful recognition program can be a daunting task, but when you have the right people on board and keep an open mind toward feedback, you're sure to experience the full benefits of recognition at your workplace. For even more recognition best practices, great resources, and industry-leading tools, visit bonus.ly.
Okay, so I guess the video is done, and I hope that you've learned something from the video since it's very informative, man. And at this juncture, let us proceed to the picture analysis, wherein the group had prepared 10 pictures which are all related to our topic for today, which is the performance appraisal and feedback. And these pictures will be analyzed by these 10 brave and bright students who amazingly accepted the task. So without further ado, let's start. For the first picture, may we have the innocent young lady of BSA 2A, Miss Georgette Marie Guancia.
Good morning. As shown in the picture, there is a figure of a man with a suitcase, and behind him are people running after him and with a time symbol. To interpret this, the man on lead that is chased by the time represents the management of the company, wherein it portrays that employees should work ahead of time. And the man could also be a symbol of the company's management, as to where it leads the employees to do things following its time frame. For example, if you're leading the meeting, show up with an agenda and be an active timekeeper. It's a sign that you're organized and respect people's time. If effective feedback is given to employees on their progress towards their goals, employee performance will improve. The employees will be always on time at work, knows what they are doing, what they are working, and what is not. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Georgette. And for our second picture, may we have the cutie bunching president of BSA 2A, Mr. John Paul Castroverde.
Thank you for that very interesting introduction. Before I start, I thank the group for allowing me to participate in their program. So as for my analysis on the image shown at the presentation of the group, I see two boys playing football, but each of them has different goals why they play the game. So the other is playing to win and wants the trophy and earn first place, while the remainder is playing to have fun and enjoy the so-called game. So hopefully the group will be able to explain what kind of rewards or appraisals these two boys have. So that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And for our third picture, may we have the Jolly as Jollibee version number 1, Miss Jubilee Villarante.
Hi, good morning. To my analysis, the picture depicts of a motivated and happy employee. It means that in order for the employee to be motivated, the company should have this kind of rewards such as money, promotion, cars, gadgets, and etc. It gives them the inspiration to do more or to work harder.
Thank you, Miss Villarante. And for our fourth picture, may we have Concute man lang ang pag-aistoryahan si Maya na ang number 1. Everyone, Miss Maya Kit Montevilla.
Thank you. So good morning, everyone. So this another picture depicts employees with variety of skills at different level of performance. Through performance appraisals, managers were able to place these employees for the perfect jobs that fits to their skills and identify in which particular areas they need to improve. And with that, we need to have an understanding with regards to the meaning, objectives, methods, and process of performance appraisals, which I do believe that the reporters of today will able to enlighten us for us to be able to have a deeper knowledge and understanding with regards to the topic. That's all, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maya. And for our fifth picture, may we have the Bella Hadid figure of BSA 2A, Ms. Jacqueline Morezo. Miss Jacqueline? Is she around? Okay.
On behalf of Ms. Morizo, I will be the one to deliver her interpretation and analysis of this picture. So in this picture, we see three employees celebrating for success, which process. It also depicts how employees want to connect with their colleagues, especially those on other teams or in different departments, by encouraging employees to hang out or conduct business in areas other than their desk, and by allowing them to take a break or to get out of the office to do something fun together. They can connect, interact, care, share, be recognized, seek to understand others, and so on. Employees want to find meaning in the work they do and want to see opportunities for personal and professional growth and development. You know that when your employees are healthy and engaged, your business performance is better. Your client base or customer satisfaction scores increase, and eventually, your organization's revenues and profits grow. When employees feel like their employer values them as professionals and individuals, they are more likely to repay this investment through top performances, excellent work, and genuine engagement that will advance the culture and organization. When your staff is motivated by monetary and non-monetary incentives, they tend to feel more empowered to do their jobs at a consistently high level. That, in turn, helps them to feel like they are a valued and important part of your company, which correlates to increased job satisfaction, heightened performance, and a willingness to succeed. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Joval. And for our sixth picture, may we have the lovely and amazing lady of BSA 2A, Miss Maria Cristina Hacolbe.
Araw-araw. Thank you, by the way. I'll take that as a compliment. To the picture analysis, I'm in my own perspective, I'm guessing that the person on the left is a manager or supervisor trying to give a feedback on the performances of those people at the back, which I assume as the employees. This also means that the manager is evaluating his employees and gives importance to their performances and contribution to the company. Furthermore, this picture also represents an example of a good manager who cares not only on his individual achievement nor his team's performances, but also pays attention to his employees' various capabilities and performances, which will then have an impact on the workplace, giving a much more positive outcome. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Akulbe. And for our seventh picture, may we have sa puso ni Park Sojun, siya daw ay nanalo. Everyone, the ever so pretty and stunning Miss Melana Jane Manalo.
Grabe, Aryan, ako lang to. Charot. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So, the picture shows a kid washing the dishes, and he is thinking of whether he is getting a cash or a phone. And I believe that same as other company, reward system starts to exist in our home by this simple task, as the picture shows, and responsibility. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Melena. And for our eighth picture, may we have sa GMA, may Dance King Mark Heras. Of course, the BSA 2A has its very own Dance King Mark Vinsoliano.
Yes, thank you. I agree, Aryan. So as you can see in the picture, it is emphasized that there are people being evaluated in terms of performance appraisals. As you all know, employee morale is boosted by performance appraisals, which drive them to work harder to achieve the organization's goals. Performance reviews and appraisals aid in the analysis of an individual's performance. As we, as we all know that the function of that individual affects team performance. Performance appraisals are critical for companies and an employee's progress. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mark Vince. And for our ninth picture, may we have the ever fabulous and unkabogable Mr. Vince Beboso.
Hi, good morning. For me, this picture shows the positive and negative performance appraisal feedbacks given to the employees. As we all know, criticisms are usually needed to open our minds to new perspectives and work on what we lack. Constructive feedbacks are important for employees as it helps with their ongoing development. It also helps build confidence among employees and motivation to learn and be more productive. However, negative feedbacks can also be given to employees as long as it is constructive and objective. In fact, more employees are eager to be given feedbacks because it gives them an overall understanding of where they can improve and excel, and most of those who receive accurate and consistent feedback feel fulfilled in their jobs. In short, effective review phrases can improve an employee's performance and help them progress. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Beboso. And for the last picture, may we have the calm and collected Miss Hazel Hope Barcelona.
Thank you, Ariane. So, for the last picture, ang analysis, you could see two employees holding stars, and it represents them receiving their appraisals or rewards, and you could see the other employees praising and in awe of the two employees receiving their appraisals. You can also see an employee trying to climb a ladder because being motivated to also receive his appraisals. When employees are appreciated for their contribution, they are motivated to work towards organizational goals. During the appraisal process, incentives such as promotions, salary hike, employee development programs, and rewards, these act as great motivators, and motivated employees tend to stay with the organization for a longer period. That is all. Thank you.
So thank you, Ms. Hazel, and thank you everyone for those very informative analysis of picture you've shared in the class. But let me remind you that those pictures and videos were only appetizers of today's event because the main course is yet to come. And I guess the main course is ready to be served also. So everyone, before we proceed, allow me to present to you your lovely reporters for today, or the waiters that will serve your awaited menu. So starting off, may we have our very own responsible leader in a no-choice position, Miss Jovelyn Octavio.
Hello, saya Jovi, reporter rundown Tuk Haraini.
And we also have the adorable key of a cold man's heart, Miss Kay Angeli Ondong.
Gracias, señorita Arian. Hola, buenos días a todos. Soy Kay Angele, tu primera reportera para hoy.
And we also have the girl who possesses a warrior-like voice, Miss Mariel Pedroso.
Konnichiwa, watashi wa Mariel desu. Kyou no anata no kisha.
And we also have the Kendall Jenner figure of BSA 2A, Miss Mary Ann Porcel.
Ciao, buongiorno, mi chiamo Marian, la tua presentatrice.
And we also have the cute girl and the pride of Banago, Miss Joanna Marie Pusok.
Assalamualaikum, ismi Joanna Ana Murasalatuka.
And lastly, your host, Aryan Crisel Patrivo. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy and have fun while learning.
Good morning. To those who participated in our picture analysis, thank you so much. And here we are now to commence the reporting proper about the topic performance appraisals, feedback, and rewards. And next, please. So the contents of this report were performance appraisal feedback, reinforcement theory, and employee rewards program. And as for the objectives, next please. After completing the chapter, the students shall be able to comprehend the following. Identify purpose and focus of performance appraisal. Discuss ways on improving performance appraisal. Define feedback and the elements needed to ensure its effectiveness. Describe the 360-degree approach as a powerful developmental method. Explain reinforcement theory, determine ways of controlling behavior, illustrate the different types of reinforcement schedules, enumerate guidelines in developing, revamping, or currently implementing an employee rewards program, differentiate intrinsic from extrinsic rewards, and identify different approaches to rewards. Next, please. So to formally start, we have here a quote that says, "The way a team plays as a whole determines its success. You may have the greatest bunch of individual stars in the world, but if we do not play together, the club won't be worth a dime." So this quote was from an American professional baseball player, Babe Ruth. We can apply this quote on how a certain firm holds its employees together. They may have a bunch of competent employees, but if these employees were not united in doing a task, let's say some of them are motivated and some of them are not, the firm will not achieve what it's like to accomplish. And that is why, next slide please, a motivated workforce can be a significant factor or organizational success. This is in contrast to an unmotivated workforce. For this reason, it is imperative that managers understand the effects of a regular and fair performance, plus the power of reward system and how they are used to influence employee behavior. And now, let's give the table to our first pair of reporters to start discussing the performance appraisals.
Thank you, Ms. Jovelyn. Okay, good morning, everyone. And today, I am going to report about performance appraisals. What is performance appraisals? Performance appraisal deals with how organizations evaluate and measures its employees' achievements and behaviors. So performance appraisal is an employee review by his manager where his work performance is evaluated and strengths and weaknesses are identified so that the employee knows his improvement areas. It is crucial for organizations to have employee performance appraisals because it helps to boost employee productivity and improve their outcomes. Performance appraisals is the right to set new goals and objectives for the employees. So periodic appraisal of performance is a key component of employee development. The performance evaluation is intended to be a fair and balanced assessment of an employee's performance. Similarly, managers and employees often see performance reviews as an essential eval because workers fear hearing their performance is inadequate, while managers struggle to find the best way to balance praise and criticism. But regardless of how a manager feels about putting his staff under a microscope, regular performance reviews are an important and constructive way to evaluate the contributions an employee is making to the company. Next slide, please. Purposes of performance appraisal. Performance appraisals are used to gauge an employee's ability to meet the requirements of her job description and perform her duties as directed. Also, performance appraisal aims to help managers effectively staff companies and use human resources and ultimately to improve productivity. Effective performance appraisal systems contain two basic systems operating in combination. First, an evaluation system and the feedback system. The main aim of the evaluation system is to identify the performance gap. This gap is the shortfall that occurs when performance does not meet the standard set by the organization as acceptable. On the other hand, feedback system aims to inform the employee about the quality of his performance. However, the information is not exclusively one way because the appraiser also receives feedback from the employee about job problems, etc. Many evaluation processes examine performance, disciplinary issues, the meeting of goals and objectives, and employee attitude. Purposes of performance appraisal include: number one, judgmental orientation, which focus on past performances and provide a basis for making judgments on which employees should be rewarded and how effective organizational programs like selection and training have been. A judgmental or subjective approach to evaluation relies heavily on a manager's personal assessment of performance more so than objective. Pre-established evaluation criteria offers a basis for rewards allocation like raises, promotion, transfer, layoffs, and others. It also identifies high potential employee and validates the effectiveness of employee selection procedures. Further, it evaluates previous training programs. Next slide, please. The second the orientation is that developmental orientation. Developmental orientation concerns with improving future performance by ensuring expectations are clear and by identifying ways to facilitate employee performance through training. It stimulates performance improvement and develop ways of overcoming obstacles and performance barriers. Also, it identified trying and development opportunities, and in addition, it established supervisor-employee agreement on performance expectation. Next slide, please. Focus of performance appraisals. Performance appraisals must be focused on job performance and not on the performers. When evaluating employees, it is necessary to ensure that the focus of the appraisal is on the job performance and that it has a proper weighing of relevant behaviors. There are three aspects of relevance in the context of performance appraisals which must be avoided. They are deficiency, contamination, and distortion. Deficiency happens when the evaluation does not focus on all aspects of the job. If certain job responsibilities are not considered, the evaluation is deficient. Also, it is a determination by the company in the company's sole and absolute discretion that the employee provided his or her best efforts and the employee's job performance does not meet the performance objectives or standards for the employee's position. Chronic deficient performance often includes time and attendance issues, poor work quality, excessive mistakes, missed deadlines, and low productivity. Next one is contamination. Contamination happens when activities not part of the job responsibilities are included in the evaluation, or when the measure affected by relevant factors that are not part of the criterion construct. This is the exact opposite of deficiency because in deficiency, it is inadequate or insufficient, while here, it is excessive but already irrelevant. The performance evaluation is contaminated because it includes other irrelevant information. Next one is distortion. Distortion takes place when an improper emphasis is given to various job elements. Whether it is positive or negative, distortion reduces the accuracy of appraisals. These distortions are often related to the attitudes and disposition of the manager. Next slide, please. Types of performance appraisals. Performance appraisal system allows the management classify employees into performers and non-performers. It is primarily done to estimate the employee's worth. Here are the different variations of performance appraisal systems. They are, number one, self-evaluation method. So self-evaluation method is a great way to kick off reviews. A self-evaluation is when the employee is asked to judge their own performance against predetermined criteria. The advantage of this is that the employee is allowed to give his input into his performance appraisal, and the company can use the self-appraisal along with the standard appraisal to give a more rounded employee review. On the other side, the disadvantage of this is that an employee may not be able to evaluate their own performance objectively by giving himself an artificially high performance grade and making self-appraisal less valuable. Employee self-evaluation helps to demystify the appraisal process and can provide interesting insight into gaps between employee and manager ratings. Self-appraisals also help to ensure that employees have read and hopefully have analyzed every corner of their performance. It also highlights how you use your unique strengths to accomplish your goals while being honest about areas you could improve. Next slide, please. Another type of performance appraisal is that behaviorally anchored rating scales or bars. Behaviorally anchored rating scale has a list of criteria that an employee should work up to be a diligent worker. The behaviors differ according to the type of job being assessed. This method is considered favorable as the evaluation is done on the basis of individual employee performance without comparisons. So, BARS is a combination of the rating scale and critical incident techniques of employee performance evaluation. The critical incidents serve as an anchor. Statements on scale and rating form usually contain 6 to 8 specifically defined performance dimensions. So the next slide is the following chart represents an example of a sales trainee's competence and behaviorally anchored rating scale. So you can see that a behaviorally anchored rating scale includes performance, points, and behavior. So extremely good performance have 7 points, which can expect trainee to make valuable suggestions for increased sale and to have positive relationship with customers all over the country. Good performance, which has 6 points, can expect to initiate creative ideas for improved sales. above average performance have 5 points, can expect to keep in touch with the customers throughout the year. Average performance have 4 points, which can manage with difficulty to deliver the goods in time. Below average have 3 points that can expect to unload the trucks when asked by the supervisor. Poor performance have 2 points, which can expect to inform only a part of the customers. Extremely poor performance have 1 point, can expect to take extended coffee breaks and roam around purposely. Next slide. So the next type of performance appraisal is the 360-degree approach. The 360 appraisal involves feedback of the manager, supervisor, team members, and any direct reports. It is a powerful developmental method and quite different to traditional manager-subordinate appraisals. As such, a 360-degree process does not replace the traditional one-to-one process. It augments it and can be used as a standalone development method. The 360-degree appraisals involve the appraisee receiving feedback from people whether named or anonymous, whose views are considered helpful and relevant. The feedback is typically provided in a form showing job skills, abilities, attitudinal, behavioral criteria, and some sort of scoring or value judgment system. So here, in 360-degree approach, the appraisee should also assess themselves using the same feedback instrument or form. The 360-degree respondents can be the appraisee's peers, upline managers, executives, subordinate staff, team members, other staff, customers, suppliers, or anyone who comes into contact with the appraisee and has opinions, views, reactions to the appraisee. The feedback forms include questions that are measured in a rating scale and also ask raters to provide written comments. The person receiving feedback also fills out a self-rating survey that includes the same survey questions that others receive in their forms. Next slide, please. So then in this slide, we are going to learn what a 360 feedback survey measures and do not assess. 360 feedback measures behaviors and competencies and provide feedback on how others perceive an employee. It also addresses skills such as listening, planning, and goal setting, and focuses on subjective areas such as teamwork, character, and leadership effectiveness. What 360 feedback surveys do not assess? 360 feedback is not a way to measure performance objectives or MBOs, and not a way to determine whether an employee is meeting basic job requirements. It do not focus on basic technical or job-specific skills and should not be used to measure strictly objective things such as attendance, sales quotas, and etc. Next slide, please. The fourth types of performance appraisal is the management by objective, or MBO. Management by objective is a type of evaluation which falls under modern approach of performance appraisal. This method, often called MBO, is designed to include employees in the goal-setting process and define success by measuring accomplishment against a clearly established set of objectives. In MBO method of performance appraisal, manager and the employee agree upon specific and obtainable goals with a set deadline. If managers and employees begin the year by working together to list these objectives, the end of year appraisal can simply compare each goal with its final outcome. With this method, the appraiser can define success and failure easily. And also, this method is simple, clear, and empowers employees in the goal-setting process, but it disregards non-goal related success metrics. That's it for my part. Next slide will be discussed by the next reporter. Thank you.
The breaker. Moderator, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to brief up first and foremost before going to proceed to the second presenter.
Okay, sir.
Get ready now with your pen and your piece of paper for take noting activity based on the topic that I'll be sharing to the members of the class. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you all there? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, the two ladies, may I request you to please open your microphone and answer me. Go with me as I go along with my discussions. Are you following?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Very good. So, class, please take note that everyone loves appreciations. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And everyone loves to be appreciated. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the company appreciates someone, it does not keep it as a secret. The organizations express their appreciations in the form of what we call performance appraisal, or other term called here is performance review. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Performance appraisal, also known as the performance reviews or the performance evaluation used by the companies to assess an employee's performance and appreciate him or her for his or her precious and dedicated contributions to the organization's growth and development. Thus, the importance of performance appraisals can be defined as the process of evaluating an employee's performance and personality as per the organization's set of standards like versatility, quality of work, efficiency, cooperations, and teamwork. That is all about employee performance or appraisal. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so based on the evaluations and assessment of the performance rating, the employee is awarded and rewarded in the form of promotions, cash rewards, giving of certificates, and such among others that could appreciate and reward and award the employee. The company provides a chance to grow. And because of performance appraisal reviews, this could benefit both the employees and the employees as feedback as an important part of the performance evaluations. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Very good. So maybe we're going to ask, what is really the purpose of performance appraisal or performance review? One of which is, it is pivotal as it helps the organizations and the abilities and competencies of an employee and also aid the company to find out the employee's abilities that can be used and improved for future growth and development. This is the very purpose why we have this performance appraisal. Okay, it might could be that also one of the reasons, okay, it becomes very substantial benefit of the performance evaluation system from the point of view of manager and department head, as it helps maintain an employee performance documentations. So in other words, all of the performances, appraisals of the employees needs to be evaluated and needs to be documented. Okay, it might could be that the performance appraisal sessions are the time feedback and assessment to identify the quality of performance, set of expectations for both the employer and the employee from each other, and this could provide an opportunity to work upon weak areas an employees perform that needs to be improved. So in other words, if it was found out in the performance appraisal that this is the area where you are not good at, pala absent ka, or this area needs to be given attention and focus by the management, really to remind the employee concerned, no, and to give feedback to that particular employee that in this area, being late, being absent most of the time, okay, has something to be given attention. Is that clear? Because it was found out in the performance appraisal. Okay. Next is because of performance review sessions open up to the communication channel between the management and employees, giving them an opportunity to speak out from their minds. It also helps to identify the potential and area or the expertise of the employee, which can be useful for the organizations, providing them with a chance to explore more. Okay, so this is really the very purpose why carrying out performance appraisals or performance reviews are very, very important to the employees concerned. Again, this is for the good of the management, and this is also for the good of the employees concerned. I'm going to give you some tips for an effective performance appraisal. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So what are the steps? Number one, preparations from the manager's end for the performance appraisal. to take note that this is the key step for appraisal. It is very important for the manager to filter out feedback points and express and explain the feedback point in an effective manner. So feedback is really very important, whether it is positive or negative. This must be informed through giving of counseling to the employees concerned. You know what is feedback?
Yes, sir.
Diba may negative feedback kita kung may positive feedback man, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. And also setting an expectations as the next important step in the performance appraisal process. The expectations required to be documented, and the employee must have a mirror clarity about what organizations expect out of him or out of her. Okay, so this should be politely discussed to the employee concerned and to the employees concerned, related to the set of expectations as well as the responsibilities. It's not only the employees that must have the expectations of the management, but management must also have the expectations based on the performance to be portrayed by the employee concerned. Is that clear? Di-expect ayan as management na mangin mapisan siya, na dapat ma-report siya on time, nga dapat ma-dismiss siya on time, nga dapat ibuhos niya ang chimpo niya, ang dedication siya, ang loyalty, ang commitment siya sa organizations. Is that part and parcel of your expectations as employer to your employee? If that is your expectations, then this must be discussed to your employee concerned. Did you get me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So the performance appraisal, the manager must document all the occurrences during the whole assessment time that the performance evaluation should cover. Okay, there must also have an absolute transparency maintained in the performance appraisal process. If I say transparency, meaning the employees must be able to know about his status, his performance, whether it is good or not, whether it requires development, whether it requires enhancement, whether it requires improvement. The employees has the right to know about his status. Remember, this performance appraisal is also the basis of transferring the employee, is also the basis of converting the employee to become permanent. This is also the basis of promoting an employee to the highest positions in the organizations. That's why performance of the employee is being considered. No, I will give you a very good and concrete example for this. Can you still remember that within this week I was able to give you the link that you have to evaluate your teacher like me?
Yes, sir.
Did you evaluate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you please give me an example of a particular statement or benched statement in that particular evaluations and the way you rate? Go ahead.
Did the teacher come to the class early, sir?
Okay. What do you think? Did I come early to the
Yes,
class?
sir.
On time? Did I
Yes.
start the class on time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how was your rating to me?
Very satisfactory, sir.
So in other words, there are, may 5 na da?
Ay, ang 5 gali, sir, nalipat ko sa ika-5. Excellent,
Okay,
I think,
five.
sir.
Okay, very good. So 5 means excellent, correct ko?
Yes, sir.
Ang 4?
Very satisfactory, sir.
Ang 3?
Satisfactory.
Ang 2?
Wala ko na na-remember, sir.
And 1 is very, very poor, correct? So in other words, these are all the rating scale that you're going to rate your teacher. 5 as the highest and 1 as the lowest with varying degrees, correct? So in your case, having a questions like, go ahead.
Does the teacher come to class early?
And your rating is?
Excellent.
All right, very good. What else? Some more question. Help me, come on. Amo na dumduman mo, ha? Or there are a lot of questions, di ba?
Oh, sir, damo to, sir. So, do ka...
Damo, ano, hindi na ito madumduman, no?
Oo, sir.
Okay, so in a wrap-up presentation, how was the evaluation?
It's good man, sir.
Okay, very good.
Puro
So in
to
other words-
excellent. Kinbutan ko si mo, sir. Don't you
Okay,
worry.
very good. In other words, no, I'm not worried. I am confident of my performance because I am performing. As long that the employee is performing, he has nothing to be hide of. He has nothing to be feared of, right? Because you are performing. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. As long that you are confident that you are a performer, Right? Okay, maski ano pa na nga buhis ang bato sa imo, you will still stand up. Right? Because you are performing your job. Did I
Yes,
make
sir.
myself clear? Okay, very
Yes,
good.
sir.
So you have to be confident. You need to be a performer like me as future employees to be. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. So the merits of performance appraisal is it will boost the morale of the employees and motivates them to work. Take note of this. The merits of performance review and appraisal. This is to analyze performance on how an individual employee's role will affect the team performance. Excuse me. The merits of performance appraisal is the best way to identify the weak areas and strength areas of the employee. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. It also established a merit-based system that motivates the employees to put their best foot forward. I repeat, to put their best foot forward in order to be recognized of their efforts. Correct? So if I'm going to apply this particular statement to me, I have really to put my best foot forward in order for me to be recognized. You too, as a future employees to be, put your best foot forward in order for you to be recognized. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please follow after me.
Okay, sir.
Merit-based system
Merit-based system
motivates the employees
motivates the employees
to put their best foot
forward
forward in order to be recognized for their efforts. Do you understand that particular statement that I kept on repeating?
Yes, sir.
So it is a reminder that you have to be a performer, as I said. Because if you are performing, you are confident. It could be seen, correct? It could be noticed, correct?
Yes, sir.
It could be felt.
Yes, sir.
Did you see it?
Yes,
as far
sir.
as my performance is concerned?
Yes, sir.
Did you feel it as far as
Yes,
my performance
sir.
is concerned? Did you sense it that I am
Absolutely, sir.
very good? Now, that's the very purpose class why performance appraisal is very, very important. Remember that your first experience you are going to have when you are going to work is that you are not to be a manager right then and then. You are not to be a permanent worker right then and then. But you have to undergo the different status or positions or classifications of your employment in the organizations. First is you have to be a probationary worker. So you are being noticed, you are being observed through your performance. So you have to be very careful, no, of your performance. Did I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Performance appraisal is also very effective to promote employees based on their performances. Okay? It also helps the management to make the transfer decisions as per as the company requirement is concerned. Having a performance appraisal is very important for the organizations when it comes to layoff decision. You know what is layoff? Right now, we are in pandemic. Most of the companies right now are experiencing troubles, financial stress to the company. Am I correct? So that is tantamount that they have to have layoff of their employees. Correct? Meaning those employees, no, whose status are, redundant already. No, they have to trim down the number of employees. From 50 employees, it will only good for 20 employees. Did you get me? That's
Yes,
layoff.
sir.
And it's very, very hard into the part of the employees concerned that they are to be terminated in the employment because of the layoff, right? Because they could not find a job because it's pandemic and they would have the difficulty. Tendency of which to happen is that there will be gutom. And if there is gutom in our community, there will be a lot of crimes to be committed. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Kinamatay here, kinamatay there. Hold a panay here, hold a panay there. Are you following? Ransack here, ransack there. Correct? Kabati ka mo dito sa somewhere in Villamonte, nagsulod ang kawatan sa Panimalay, no? Nadakpan sa 18 years old ang kawatan, nadakpan sang tatay ang kawatan, nilabo niya sang samurai, uy, napatay ang kawatan. Have you tried to notice that? Shh.
Wala
Hello?
ko, sir, kabat.
Wala ka?
Wala ko, sir, galantang balita.
Ay, wala ka gid na. There's a Facebook. It's better for us to read, correct? Because if we
Yes,
kept
sir.
on reading, it would increase our memory and our vocabulary. Meaning, we become aware what is going on now in our community. So, amo itong natabo, day, ang kawatan nagsulod sa ila panimalay to, nakabatsyag ang 18 years old na lalaki, nakabatsyag ang tatay, huy, nagkarambula sila, huy, gimpang buno-buno sang kawatan, karon kay isa lang siya. Na, kag-ara sa panimalay, ay ako tuntuman, bahala na, ara ka sa panimalay ko, bahala na ang matabo. So, sa muray, napatay ang kawatan. You see, in other words, there is already a problem in terms of money. In other words, there is also a problem in terms of employment. Because if people has no job, tendency which to happen is that they will be a social menace to our community. They will be creating social problems like pangawatay. Did you get me?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Your answers will represents the answers of everybody. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please take note of this, ladies and gentlemen. Having this performance appraisal, it mirrors also that it would help managers arrange refreshing or the so-called refreshment courses and career for development programs for the employees as per their performance evaluation. Everyone aims at a higher position in the company, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you also dreaming to be somebody to yourself, not only to be a CPA, but your CPA may 3 ka litra, ang 3 ka litra may MBA pa, may CPA, may MBA pa, hindi ka pa kontento, nag-PhD ka pa. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? This is the very purpose why we have this performance appraisal, right? Because it would arrange refreshments and career and development programs for the employees as part of their performance evaluation. Everyone aims at a higher position in the company, so the managers can arrange training programs respectively based on the performance evaluation of the employees. Did you get me?
Yes, sir.
Do we understand each other? Did you get
Yes,
something?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
very
sir.
good. Back to you, our moderator. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that very informative addition sa topic. And let's proceed to the second reporter.
So to continue, the fifth performance appraisal is force distribution. Force distribution is a form of comparative evaluation in which an evaluator rates subordinates according to a specified distribution. Force distribution is primarily used to eliminate rating errors such as leniency and central tendency, but the method itself can cause rating errors because it forces discriminations between employees even where job performance is quite similar. The force distribution method is one of the most widely used and also the most criticized method of performance appraisal. This is a rating system that is used all over the world by companies to evaluate their workforce. It requires the supervisor or manager to assess each employee based on certain predetermined parameters, and thereafter rank them into 3 or more categories. Most commonly, the employees fall into excellent, good, or poor categories, which can be expanded by the organization to a 5-point scale as well. Example of 5-point scale is low, below average, average, above average, and high. The force distribution method is also called bell curve rating or stock ranking. This method is preferred by many employers as it creates a visible differentiation between performances of each employee in the organization. This method of performance management typically chooses the normal distribution curve to represent the performance distribution. So this is an example of normal distribution curve. This ensures that a small fraction of the entire workforce is to be placed at the extremes, which is the outstanding performers and poor performers. A relatively large section of the workforce fall into the middle of the distribution. So as you can see in the example, so it is an example of normal distribution curve where the 5 and 15% on the left side represent the poor performers, while on the right side represents the high performers. The 60% on the middle represents the average performers. The poor performers are either to be coached or subject to termination. The average performers may receive moderate raises, while the high performers will receive larger raises and in line for promotions. To repeat, this method is criticized because of various reasons. Often, the employees feel that the evaluation is not fair and hence it can lead to unhealthy competition, rivalry amongst the employees and loss of moral workforce. So next is the graphic rating scale. Rating scale is probably the most common performance appraisal method. The rating scale methodology requires an employer to develop an in-depth grading system, similar to the way students in school are assessed. This graphic rating scale is then used to evaluate an employee in terms of success within a variety of areas, such as technical skill set, teamwork, and communication skills. There is typically a minimum required grade an employee must receive in order for the performance appraisal to be considered a success. Those that do not make the grade are often put on a performance improvement plan. So this is an example of graphic rating scale. So the advantages of this method is that it is easy to understand and is user-friendly. Standardization of the comparisons criteria and behaviors are quantified, making appraisal system easier. On the other hand, the disadvantages of this method are, first, judgmental error. Rating behaviors may or may not be accurate as the perception of behaviors might vary with judges. Difficulty in rating. Rating against labels like excellent and poor is difficult at times, even tricky as the scale does not exemplify the ideal behaviors required for rating for achieving a rating. Not effective in understanding the strength of employees. Different employees have different strong characteristics, and this might quantify to the same score. Next is the critical incident method. Critical incident method allows supervisors or managers to describe an employee's excellent or poor response to situations arising during the year in question. This method keeps answers open-minded, flexible, multidimensional, and respectful of context. But it also resists standardization and comparison. And if the incidents aren't recorded and discussed as they occur, a subjective assessment made weeks or months later may have limited value. So this is the process of making a critical incident method. So first, review incident methods, collect facts, analyze data, determine outcomes, and evaluate solution. So critical incident method, or usually called critical incident technique, is a performance appraisal tool in which analyze the behavior of employee in certain events in which either he performed very well and the ones in which he could have done better. Critical incident technique is used to collect data using a set of procedures. In critical incident method, the observer observes critical human behavior, skills used, incidents that occur on the job. So this kind of method is very helpful while making a job specification and job description. The respondents, usually the employer, are asked to tell a story about the experiences they had while performing the job. The manager notes down the necessary incidents, skills, mental abilities, knowledge, and other attributes that were used during the job by the employee. So critical incident technique notes down the important skills, knowledge, and mental abilities and other attributes that are required in the job. So the next one is paired comparison analysis. Paired comparison analysis relies on a grade that presents numerical values for each employee based on an established set of criteria. After the values are collected, they can be viewed against other values presented in the same format and affected by the same factors. So this is an example of paired comparison analysis. So in the performance appraisal example, if there are 5 employees A, B, C, and D, and E, A will be compared individually to B, to C, and similarly to the remaining employees. If A is better than B, plus will be marked against his name. So makita nyo manda na may plus between kay A kag kay B. And if he is not good as C, A minus will be marked. So, kita nyo man na between A and C may minus na sign. The total number of decisions in this case will be 10. The number of decisions can be calculated by the formula of n, quantity of n minus 1 over 2, where n represents the total number of employees being evaluated. So as you can see in this diagram, C has the most plus and hence will receive more incentives. Excuse me. So the second example is job evaluation. Job evaluation is done by comparing the worth of one job against that of another. Ranks and grades can be decided depending on the number of points scored by each job. If job A is worth more than B, it will rated with a 1. And if it is not worth as much as job C, it will be rated with a 0. In the diagram below, job E has scored the most number of points and hence will be at a higher rank when compared to the other jobs. The advantage of using this method is that it is reliable and provides reasoning behind decision making. However, it cannot be used in organizations with a large number of employees as it would be difficult to compare so many people on an individual basis. So, the next one is ranking method. Ranking method compare one employee to another, resulting in an ordering of employees in relation to one another. Rankings often result in overall assessment of employees, rather than in specific judgments about a number of job components. Straight ranking requires an evaluator to order a group of employees from best to worst overall or from most effective to less effective in terms of a certain criterion. Alternative ranking makes the same demand, but the ranking process must be done in a specified manner. For example, by first selecting the best employee in a group, then the worst, then the second best, then the worst, etc. So ranking method is one of the simplest performance evaluation method. In this method, employees are ranked from the best to worst in a group. The simplicity of these methods is overshadowed by the negative impact of assigning a worst and a best rating to an employee. Such discriminations led to negativity within a group and have a negative impact on performance. So comparative evaluation systems such as ranking are rarely popular, no matter how close a group of employees is in the level of underperformance, and no matter how well they perform on the job. Some will rank high and some will end up at the bottom. Evaluators are often reluctant to make such discriminations. Also, rankings are unable to compare employees across different groups. So the last one is the essay method. The essay method involves an evaluator's written report appraising an employee's performance, usually in terms of job behaviors and results. The subject of an essay appraisal is often justification of pay, promotion, or termination decisions, but essays can be used for developmental purposes as well. So in this method, the appraiser prepares a written statement about the employee being appraised. The statement usually concentrates on describing specific strengths and weaknesses in job performance. It also suggests courses of action to remedy the identified problem areas. The statement may be written and edited by the appraiser alone, or it be composed in collaboration with the appraisee. The advantages of this method includes it is far less structured and confining than the rating scale method. It permits the appraiser to examine almost any relevant issue or attribute of performance. This contrasts sharply with methods where the appraisal criteria are rigidly defined. Appraisers may place whatever degree of emphasis on issues or attributes that they feel appropriate. Thus, the process is open-ended and very flexible. The appraiser is not locked into an appraisal system. The limits, expression, or assumes that employee traits can be neatly dissected and scaled. The disadvantages of this method includes assay methods are time-consuming and difficult to administer. Appraisers often find the assay technique more demanding than methods such as rating scales. The technique's greatest advantage, freedom of expression, is also its greatest disadvantage. The varying writing skills of appraisers can upset and distort the whole process. The process is subjective, and in consequence, it is difficult to compare and contrast the results of individuals or to draw any broad conclusions about organizational needs. Ways of improving performance appraisals. Not every manager has the opportunity to impact or improve the overall performance appraisal system within which they must work. But every manager has the opportunity to take the system they have been dealt and turn the performance appraisal process into a positive, rewarding, beneficial process for both themselves and the employees who report to them. So the first way of improving the performance appraisal is to make sure managers and subordinates understand the appraisal system. The appraisal system should be explicitly described, specific to the purpose of the appraisal. The organization, before conducting an appraisal, should let everyone know what they are conducting or what kind of appraisal they are conducting and how important it is for the betterment of the company. Also, describing the specific purpose of the appraisal and how it works reduces the confusion and ambiguity of the process. Second, assess the effectiveness of the organization's current system. Managers and subordinates agreed that the system upholds some functions while falling short in other functions. Managers and employees have different needs. Thus, the organization should identify them before making a questionnaire to assess the degree to which its members perceive the process to be effective. Next, appraisal skills training for managers is a must. It can reasonably be concluded that the ability of the supervisor or manager to skillfully appraise his subordinate is critical to an effective appraisal. Skills should include, first, goal setting. Second, communicating performance standards, observing subordinate performance, coaching and providing feedback, completing the rating form, and conducting the appraisal review. Managers who are expected to carry out performance appraisal should have some appropriate training. This should include the reasons the organization carries out appraisals and the skills of performance appraisal. Managers should have an opportunity to practice the skills needed to carry out an effective appraisal. They need to learn to ask the right questions, listen actively, and provide constructive feedback. The fourth one is increase managers' willingness to conduct effective appraisals. Primary causes of appraisal ineffectiveness fall squarely on the manager's shoulder. It's the harsh truth, but organizations should take more steps to facilitate. Increasing managers' willingness helps improve the effectiveness of appraisals. They should ensure that the manager know and understand the appraisal system that the organization will use. They should also ensure to provide managers proper appraisal skill training to improve his or her effectiveness. The fifth one is start with effective performance planning. Planning is required to set the stage for effective appraisal. The majority of subordinates cited unclear performance standards as a cause of ineffective appraisals. Meaningful and accurate evaluation and feedback requires clear goals to be established beforehand. Therefore, a large part of the process should be devoted to determining what actions need to be taken in the future. It is harder to correct the results of poor planning than it is to plan correctly at the beginning. The sixth one is making formal appraisals ongoing activity. Annual appraisals are only as effective as what happens during the rest of the work year. Thus, managers can help increase its effectiveness by performing an informal performance appraisals whenever they feel communication is needed. For example, if the employee has been consistently meeting or exceeding standards. 7 is provide resources necessary to link pay to performance. Linking rewards to perform appraisal results has been found to be one of the most unclear and controversial issues. Pay for performance is an equation in which some portion of an employee's compensation is related to how they perform based on some stated criteria, whether those be individuals, group goals, or business goals. When the pay performance, it is often criticized because when the pay performance equation gets out of balance, it can lead to employee dissatisfaction. Employees who are getting paid more than their performance merits may wonder how long it will take anyone to notice and whether they should be planning an exit strategy. And employees who are getting paid too little relative to their performance will face pressure to find a job where they're paid what they're worth. The last one is use anniversary dates to stagger appraisals. Conducting appraisals can be burdensome. Using the anniversary dates to stagger appraisals makes the managers focus on the absolute performance of employees. It is less time-consuming for managers compared to annual reviews. Focused feedback by managers increases proportionally to the member of the employees. That's all.
So, okay. I hope that you guys have learned something from our two reporters. So before we proceed to our next reporter, may we have some quick refreshers first. So this is just a mini activity which is related lang siya sa aton topic. Not particularly about our topic, but this is just related sa aton topic. So this mini activity is called categories. Kagang iya mechanics is mahatag kami letter or mahatag ko letter. And then mahatag man ko category wherein ang inyo answer dapat nagabigin sa letter na ginhatag ko. For example, next slide, Anaymar. Mariel, next slide. Example. Ay, hindi. Babawa na Example, be letter S. And then the category is, or ang question is, name some office employee position. So, dapat ang answer nyo nagabigin sa letter S, like secretary, staff assistant, and supervisor. Gets lang, guys? Gets nyo lang ang mechanics ng activity?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Sige, thank you. So, okay, for our first category and letter, we have letter V. And then, name a reward that can be given to an employee. So, any reward nga pwede mahatag sa employee nga nagabigin sa letter V. Sige na, guys. Any reward nga nagabigin sa letter V.
Vacation.
Vouchers.
Vacation, vouchers. Very good. Ano pa, guys? Mga nabalaan nyo? Isa na lang.
VIP parking.
VIP?
Parking.
Parking, VIP parking. So, thank you, Miss Janine. And those two nga nag-participate. And we have another one pa. May isa pa. May ara pa isa. So, next is letter P. Then, give some team-based reward that a company can offer sa ilang employee. Any team-based reward, guys? Pamahaw. Pwede. Ano pa, guys? Dali na. Hindi na ka mo mahuya. Iyambal na.
Party-party yan.
Party-party. What kind of party-party, Milena?
Usually, ang pa-pizza, letter P man siya. So, pizza party.
Yeah,
Diba?
pizza party. Very good. Thank you, Miss Milena. So I guess nga na-refresh naman kita since nga do kadugay gito sang first nga mga reporters ta. So sa sini nga time naman is let's give this time sa aton nga third reporter.
Okay, good morning. Bati-on lang ko.
Yes, Jo.
Thank you. Probably the most challenging part of the performance appraisal meeting is giving feedback to employees on their performance. But of course, feedback must be given if managers want the performance appraisal meeting to be motivational for an employee and to result in improved performance. Performance appraisal feedback is always easier to give and receive if managers have followed a structured process. This structured process involve first agreeing performance objectives or standards. For example, if isa ka company, ang kada nila employee may ara sang quota. Second, monitored employee performance. Nang makita taman na kisa sa Jollibee na bala, may ara na sila butang employee of the month. Daw amon sa example sang nga gina-monitor ang performance ng kada employee. Third is giving employees ongoing performance feedback, not just a performance appraisal time ng daw ara lang hindi lang sa kada ang balda nga ang feedback dapat timely, hindi lang kada year or dapat kada perform sang isang employee ang feedback sa employee dapat sige-sige man. Next slide please. Effectiveness of performance appraisal feedback. Effective and timely feedback is a critical component of a successful performance manager program and should be used in union with setting performance goals. If effective feedback is given to employees and their progress towards their goals, employee performance will improve. People need to know in a timely manner how they are doing, what is working and what is not. Giving feedback to employees is not always an easy thing to do. Negative feedback may not always be well received. These realities are counterbalanced by the necessity of honesty. Without accurate feedback, employees will not know what they need to improve and workplace will suffer.
Excuse me, breaker. Reporter, please come closer to your microphone. I can't hear you. Come closer, please.
Okay, sir. Okay na, sir.
More closer, please.
Okay na, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Next slide, please. Feedback can come from many different sources like managers and supervisors, measurement systems, peers, and customers. However, certain elements are needed to ensure its effectiveness. This includes first, specificity. Feedback works best when it relates to a specific goal. Establishing employee performance expectations and goals before work begins is the key to providing tangible, objective, and powerful feedback. Telling employees that they are doing well because they exceeded their goal by 10% is more effective than simply saying you're doing a good job. Effective feedback specifically ties into larger overall goal instead of being generic. As a student also, specific feedback helps students improve by addressing their strengths and weaknesses directly. Rather than saying someone made a good introduction during their presentation, instructors should opt for more detailed feedback. The same strategies work for providing constructive criticism as well. When educators want to highlight weaknesses in a student's presentation, it is much more effective to be as descriptive as possible. Next is timeliness. Employees should receive information about how they are doing as timely as possible. If improvement needs to be made in their performance, the sooner they found out about it, the sooner they can correct the problem. If employees need reach or exceeded a goal, the sooner they receive positive feedback, the more rewarding it is to them. Feedback should be frequent. It should happen as soon as possible. Delayed feedback can cause the action to become a habit. We are only human, and that means memory loss over time. As time marches away from an event or situation, our memory fades and our accuracy to relay the action of situation sufficiently diminishes. Delaying feedback gives the other person time to forget the action as well. So next slide. Next slide is manner. Feedback should be given in a manner that will best help improve performance. Since people respond better to information presented in a positive way, feedback should be expressed in a positive manner. This is not to say that information should be sugar-coated. It must be accurate, factual, and complete. When presented, however, feedback is more effective when it reinforces what the employee did right and then identifies what needs to be done in the future. Constant criticism eventually will fall upon deaf ears. With all the focus on critical feedback and changing negative behaviors, it is easy to forget that effective feedback is just as much about reinforcing and promoting good behaviors. Good behaviors teammates are already taking. It would be all too easy to assume someone knows when they've done a good job. But research shows that the simple act of recognizing a job well done can have huge returns. Positive feedback stimulates the reward centers in the brain, leaving the recipient open to taking new direction. However, again, we need to remember to be specific about what we are praising someone for, without being explicit about what they did right. You're leaving them free to interpret what they think they're being praised for, which can lead to more issues and awkwardness down the road. Constructive feedback is one of the best things managers can provide to their employees. When delivered properly, it can reinforce positive behavior, correct any negative performance, and ensure a strong culture remains in your team. Remember, as a manager, the appraisal process is nothing to fear. It's just another way to ensure that employees are on a continuous improvement path. Your assistance in their development will be improved more by your relaxed demeanor and interpersonal courtesy. The appraisal feedback process is not always easy, but your commitment to your employees demands that you share the information in such a way to increase their acceptance. This is the best way to ensure their improvement in the future. Nobody is perfect, so there is always room for improvement. Creating and maintaining a relationship of respect will help make any information you must share easier to learn from. If effective feedback is designed into a performance management program, individual and team performance will improve, which will make your organization more effective. With effective feedback processes, employees won't be working blind and hopefully will reach their destination successfully. That's all. Next topic will be reported by the next reporter. Thank you.
So, good morning again. So, our next topic is about reinforcement theory. Next slide, please. So, reinforcement theory of motivation was proposed by Bruce Frederick Skinner and his associates. It states that individuals' behavior is a function of its consequences. It is based on a law of effect. Individuals' behavior with a positive consequences tends to be repeated, but individuals' behavior with negative consequences tends not to be repeated. So, this theory focuses totally on what happened to an individual when he takes some action. Thus, according to Skinner, the external environment of the organization must be designed effectively and positively so as to motivate employees. This theory is a strong tool for analyzing, controlling mechanism of individuals' behavior. However, it does not focus
on the causes of individuals' behavior. So reinforcement theory explains in detail how an individual learns behavior. Managers who are attempting to motivate the employees must ensure that they do not reward all employees simultaneously. They must tell employees what they are not doing correctly. They must tell employees how can they achieve a positive reinforcement. So later on, we will know what is a positive reinforcement is. So next slide, please. So managers use the following methods for controlling the behavior of employees. So we have here for the positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, and extinction. So positive reinforcement, this implies giving a positive response when an individual shows positive and required behavior. So for instance, he was immediately praising an employee for coming early to job. This will increase the probability of exemplary behavior occurring again. Another is that the boy receives 20 pesos for every A he earns on his report card. So the second example, this involves reward. So the reward is a positive reinforcement, but not necessarily if and only if the one's behavior improves. A reward can be a positive reinforcer. So positive reinforcement stimulates the occurrence of the behavior. It must be noted that the more spontaneous is the giving of the reward, the greater the reinforcement value it has. So next is the negative reinforcement. So this implies rewarding an employee for removing negative or undesirable consequences. Both positive and negative reinforcement can be used for increasing desirable and or required behavior. So for example, Dan is a manager of a small home appliance center with 20 employees. Once a month, the sales staff must attend a meeting on Saturday mornings where Dan serves day-old donuts and lectures them on upselling and closing a deal. So naturally, the employees are dread on meetings. Dan sees their attitude toward the meetings as an opportunity to use negative reinforcement to increase sales. So Dan tells their workers that if the sales revenue increases by at least 5% next month, the employees can skip the monthly meeting. So the sales staff is excited about the chance to skip the meeting, and they are motivated to step up their efforts to make a sale. So when thinking about reinforcement, always remember that the result is trying to increase the behavior. For positive reinforcement, think of it as adding something positive to increase a response. For negative reinforcement, think of it as taking something a negative away to increase a response. So next is the punishment. It implies removing positive consequences as to lower the probability of repeating undesirable behavior in future. In other words, punishment means applying undesirable consequence for showing undesirable behavior. So punishment is a process by which a consequence immediately follows a behavior which decreases the future frequency of that behavior. Like reinforcement, a stimulus can be added or removed. For instance, suspending an employee for breaking the organizational rules. With punishment, always remember that the result is trying to decrease the undesired behavior. Positive discipline involves adding an adversive consequence after an undesired behavior is emitted to reduce future responses. Negative punishment includes taking away a particular reinforcing item after the undesired behavior happens to decrease future responses. So last is extinction. It implies absence of reinforcements. In other words, extinction implies lowering the probability of undesired behavior by removing reward for that kind of behavior. So extinction is similar to punishment, that its purpose to reduce unwanted behavior. The process of extinction begins with the valued behavioral consequence is withheld to decrease the probability that a learned behavior will continue. Over time, this is likely to result the ceasing of that behavior. So extinction may alternately reduce unwanted behavior, such as when a positive reinforcer is no longer offered when the desired behavior occurs. For example, if an employee is continually praised for preparation as he completes his work for several months but receives no praise in subsequent month for such behavior, his desirable behavior may diminish. Thus, to avoid unwanted extinction, manager may have to continue to offer positive behavioral consequences. So next slide, please. So reinforcement schedules. So a schedule of reinforcement is basically a rule stating which instances of a behavior will be reinforced. In some cases, a behavior might be reinforced every time it occurs. Sometimes a behavior might not be reinforced at all. So either positive or negative reinforcement might be used depending on the situation. Both cases, the global reinforcement is always to strengthen the behavior and increase the likelihood that it will occur again in the future. In operant conditioning, schedules of reinforcement are essential component of a learning process. When and how often we reinforce a behavior can have a dramatic impact on the strength and rate of the response. And in real-world setting, behavior are probably not going to be reinforced every time they occur. For situation where you are purposely trying to train and strengthen an action, such as in the classroom, in sports, or animal training, you might opt to follow a specific reinforcement schedule. Some schedules are better suited to certain types of training situations. In some cases, training might call for one schedule and then switch to another once the desired behavior has been taught. So next slide, please. So certain schedules of reinforcement may be more effective in specific situations. Here, there are two types of reinforcement schedules. We have continuous reinforcement and partial reinforcement. Continuous reinforcement, the desired behavior is reinforced every single time it occurs. This schedule is best used during the initial stages of learning in order to create a strong association between the behavior and the response. Once the response is firmly attached, reinforcement is usually switched to a partial reinforcement schedule. So imagine, for example, that you're trying to teach a trainee how the company operates and works. During the initial stages of learning, you would stick to a continuous reinforcement schedule to introduce and establish the behavior. Eventually, the trainee will start to act on its own. Then partial reinforcement, the response is reinforced part of the time. Once the response is firmly established, a continuous reinforcement schedule is usually switched to a partial reinforcement schedule. Learned behaviors are acquired more slowly with partial reinforcement, but the response is more resistant to extinction. So think of the earlier example in which we were training a trainee how the company operates and works. While you initially use continuous reinforcement, reinforcing the behavior every time is simply unrealistic. In time, you would switch to a partial schedule to provide additional reinforcement once the behavior has been established or after considerable time has passed. So, next slide, please. So there are four schedules of partial reinforcement. We have fixed ratio schedules, variable ratio schedules, fixed interval schedules, and variable interval schedules. Fixed ratio schedules are those where a response is reinforced only after a specified number of responses. This schedule produces a high, steady rate of responding with only a brief pause after the delivery of the reinforcer. So the fixed ratio schedule can be understood by looking at the term itself. Fixed refers to the delivery of reward on a consistent schedule. The ratio refers to the number of responses that are required to receive reinforcement. So example is workers at a shoe factory are paid for every 15 shoes they make. This results in a high production rate and workers tend to take few breaks. It can, however, lead to burnout and lower quality work. So another example is a worker earns a commission for every third sale that they make. So one of the advantages of a fixed ratio schedule is that it leads to a reasonably high response rate, although there is usually a short pause after a reward is delivered. One possible disadvantage is that Subject may quickly become exhausted from such a high response rate, or they may become satiated after several reinforcement has been given. So next is the variable ratio schedules occur when a response is reinforced after an unpredictable number of responses. These schedules create a high steady rate of responding. So the best example is the slot machines. Players have no way of knowing how many times they have to play before they win. All they know is that eventually a play will win. This is why slot machines are so effective and players are often too reluctant to quit. There is always the possibility that the next coin they put in will be the winning one. So when identifying different schedule of reinforcement, it can be beneficial to start by looking at the name of the individual schedule itself. In variable ratio schedules, the term variable indicates that reinforcement is delivered after an unpredictable number of responses. Ratio suggests that the reinforcement is given after a set of number of responses. So together, the term means that reinforcement is delivered after a varied number of responses. Next is the fixed interval schedules. Are those where the first response is rewarded only after a specified amount of time has elapsed. This schedule causes high amount of responding near the end of interval, but much lower responding immediately after the delivery of the reinforcer. So a weekly paycheck is a good example of the fixed interval schedule. The employee receives reinforcement every 7 days, which may result in a higher response rate as payday approaches. However, the big problem with this type of schedule is that the behavior tends to occur only right before the reinforcement is delivered. If a student knows that there will be an exam for every Friday, he might only begin studying on Thursday night. And another is, if a child knows she gets her allowance on Sunday as long as her bedroom is clean, she probably won't clean up her room until Saturday night. So that's examples of fixed interval schedules. So last is the variable interval schedule. Occur when a response is rewarded after an unpredictable amount of time has passed. This schedule produces a slow, steady rate of response. For example, does your boss drop by your office a few times throughout the day to check your progress? This is an example of variable interval schedule. These check-ins occurs at a predictable time, so you will never know when they might happen. The chances are good that you work at a firmly steady pace throughout the day, since you are never quite sure when your boss will pop in, and you want to appear busy and productive when she does happen to stop by. Immediately after one of these check-ins, you might briefly pause and take a short break before resuming your steady work pace. So, deciding when to reinforce is a behavior can depend upon several factors. In cases where you are specifically trying to teach a new behavior, a continuous schedule is often a good choice. Once the behavior has been learned, switching to a partial schedule is often preferable. Realistically, reinforcing a behavior every time it occurs can be difficult and requires a great deal of attention and resources. Partial schedules not only tend to lead to behaviors that are more resistant to extension, but they also reduce the risk that the subject will be satiated. If the reinforcer being used is no longer desired or rewarding, the issue may stop performing the desired behavior. For example, imagine that you're trying to teach a dog to sit. If you are using food as a reward, the dog might stop acting once he is full. In such instances, something like praise or attention might be a more effective reinforcer. That's all. Thank you.
Moderator, where are you
Yes,
now?
sir.
Okay, go
Sir?
ahead.
Wala ka addition, sir.
Nothing. Please proceed.
Okay, so before we proceed to another topic, let's first again have a categories activity. So Next, Marielle. So now our letter is letter E. Then name some performance-based awards that an employee can get. Any performance-based awards that an employee can get, guys, and that begins with letter E dapat. Guys?
Employee of the Month Award.
Employee of the Month Award. Very good, Miss Milena. Another pa, guys? Come on. Don't be shy.
Excellent Performance Award.
Excellent Performance Award. Very good, Mr. Peter John. Last na lang, guys. Isa pa.
Exceptional Employee Award.
Exceptional Employee Award. Very good, Miss Eloisa. And then, another one. Isa pa ka letter, Miss Marielle. Now our letter is letter I, and give some phrases or lines that a boss can tell to praise its employees. Guys, any phrase or lines?
Impressive.
Impressive. Yes, pwede. Another pa? Damo pa, guys?
I am so proud of you. Keep up the good job.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Yes, thank you, Milena. And then isa na lang, guys. Ma-proceed na tayo sa next nga topic. Isa pa ka phrase or line. Waay na? Walang ta. Sige, hindi man ta dapat magpilit sang wala na. So, let's proceed to our next topic. So, for our next topic is about employee reward programs. So, employee reward programs is one of the methods of motivating employees on individual and or group levels to change work habits and key behaviors to benefit a business. It could be monetary in nature or otherwise have a cost to the company. It could be a daunting task finding what's best fit in motivating an employee. So, employee reward programs is one of the method or way para mag-motivate sang employee sa isa ka organization or improve sang performance ng mga employees sa isa ka organization. Kay once nga there is a reward programs, ang employee, they strive more to finish their assigned task and also improve their performances since nga they were expecting some rewards. And also, ang pag-establish or formulate sang reward programs is not an easy task. Kay dapat, ang reward programs is naka-align siya sa likes sang mga employee, which is why developing reward system is the main problem of most managers. So, next slide. And here are the following are the tips that most managers need to consider upon developing and implementing employee reward programs. So first is involve all employees in the development, implementation, and revision of reward programs. So involvement will encourage communication between employees and management about reward processes, and it will also ensure that both employees and upper management are on board with the reward system. And second is ensure that employees view the rewards as worthy effort. So managers should value employees' input and select rewards accordingly. So employees who sees rewards as worthy effort will be more motivated to work hard and obtain them. And the third one is make sure that employees understand how to earn the reward. So managers should clearly state how employees can earn reward. Because if employees have a comprehensive understanding of what is expected of them, they will be more capable of achieving performance standards. And next is set reasonable and transparent performance standards for rewards. So employees must see rewards as attainable in order for them to engage in necessary effort to obtain it. Rewards must be within the reach of employees. And also providing a dashboard where they can check and view their performance in real time will allow them to assess their own performance and have a realistic expectation of the rewards. And next is base reward determinations on objective performance data. So when rewards are distributed based on objective data, employees are more likely to view the process as fair and are more likely to have a clear understanding of what is expected of them. Also, this will increase their motivation to achieve the desired performance result. And next, we also have employees make sure the employees view the reward system as fair. So when employees view reward system as fair, they will be more engaged in trying to obtain the reward. So never engage in favoritism or cut corners as this will have a negative impact on employee performances. And number 7 is always link rewards to performance. So in order for rewards to have impact on influencing employee performance, they must be directly linked to desired behavior. Praises, recognition, cash or non-cash rewards to specific result. Because when employees determine the connection between rewards and their performances, they will be motivated to perform in the future. And then number 8 is recognize small and large accomplishments. Employees must be rewarded when they meet large goals as well as small milestones. These will ensure that they will receive recognition for their progress and their behavior is consistent with the company expectation. And then number 9 is reward teamwork and cooperation. So if there's a reward for individual accomplishment, managers should also consider a team-based incentive since people in an organization often work as a team. And then number 10 is never take good performance for granted. So it can be easy to stop rewarding top performers, but this could be a fatal flaw. In order to keep top talents on the team, ensure that your company continues to acknowledge and reward top performers. Next slide. Yeah. And number 11 is provide rewards immediately after the employee achieves the desired behavior. So there is a temporal component to the effect of the reward. The longer the delay of providing it after the employee's achievement, the less impact it's shaping subsequent behavior. So reward behavior that meets performance standard immediately. And number 12 is match the reward to the employee. So allow each employee to select their own rewards or decide what reward should employee receive under a predefined circumstances. So these will enhance their commitment in achieving the reward by engaging in the required behavior, which is why understanding the needs of employees is central to this process. Number 13 is offer financial rewards, non-monetary rewards, and recognition. So reward system that combines monetary, non-monetary, and social awards such as a simple recognition and praises have an impact on employee performances. Number 14 is when employees learn an unfamiliar task, distribute rewards based on a continuous reinforcement schedule. So the most effective way to encourage learning a new task is by reinforcing employee behavior on a continuous schedule. Number 15, once the behavior becomes a habit, distribute rewards based on a variable ratio or variable interval schedule. So variable ratio and variable interval schedule of reinforcement results in the most significant behavior change once the behavior becomes a habit. This change in behavior is also more resistant to weakening. Therefore, one of these reinforcement schedules should dictate the reward distribution process after the behavior has become a habit. And number 16, do not disclose the cash value of non-monetary tangible rewards. So employees who are unaware of the exact cash value of a non-monetary rewards could be more motivating. So do not disclose unless it's necessary. Number 17, use long-term rewards programs. Long-term rewards programs have the greatest effect on the employee performance and the resulting gains last longer. Number 18, balance competitive reward programs with non-competitive programs. So competitive reward programs are just as effective as non-competitive in increasing a performance. So an effective reward strategy should involve both. And 19, make rewards an integral part of the company's strategy. So rewards are valuable in aligning employee behavior with the organization business strategy. So ensure that rewarded behavior is in line with company standards, objective, and strategy. And lastly, change the rewards frequently. So if rewards is changed frequently, employees will be more surprised and the process will be more exciting. When employees are excited with the reward, they will work harder to achieve them. So that was the 10 tips that most managers need to consider upon developing and implementing employee reward programs. Next slide. And now let's tackle about intrinsic reward. So intrinsic motivation is internal to the person in that it is something that has to be offered to oneself and is driven by personal interest or enjoyment in the work itself. Intrinsic motivation provides a personal pat on the back or natural high that reflects a person's ability, competence, growth, knowledge, self-control over their endeavors. So intrinsic rewards exist within an individual. Nga if matapos balang isa ka tasang isa ka employee ng ang rewards is more on emotional and psychological benefit or ara saya internal reward saya. So some people, when you're intrinsically motivated, you engage in an activity solely because you enjoy it and get personal satisfaction from it. Like if you want to read books, you read books because you love reading and you want to gain some knowledge halin sa dira, but you're not reading, but kumbaga wala ka nagabasa nga something nga may task ka nga obrahon or ng maobra ka mga written reports out of it. So commonly ang na-include sa intrinsic rewards is ang mga personal achievement, personal growth, new acquisition of knowledge, and sense of pleasure and accomplishment. And some people believe that the most powerful rewards come from the inside of a person. And also, according to Frederick Hirschberg, who is one of the leading theorists of workplace motivation, found intrinsic rewards to be much more stronger than financial rewards in increasing employee motivation. So according kay Frederick, it nga mas more stronger ang intrinsic motivation than financial rewards. But this statement does not mean that employees will not seek financial rewards in addition to intrinsic, but rather it's just mean that money is not enough to maximize motivation in most employees. Next slide. 10. So intrinsic rewards and how workers view them. So first, a sense of meaningfulness. These rewards involve the meaningfulness or importance or purpose a person is trying to fulfill. So a person must feel that he has an opportunity to accomplish something of real value. He feels that he is on path that is worth his time and effort, giving him a strong sense of purpose or direction. And then second is sense of choice. A person will feel free to choose how to accomplish his work, to use his best judgment to select those work activities that make the most sense to him and to perform them in ways that seem appropriate. So he feels ownership of his work, believe in the approach he is taking, and feel responsible for making it work. And then the third one is sense of competence. A person feels that he is handling his work activities well, that performance of these activities meets or exceeds his personal standards, and that he is doing good, high-quality work. So a person feels a sense of satisfaction, pride, or even artistry in how well he handles these activities. And lastly, the sense of progress. A person is encouraged that his efforts are really accomplishing something. So he feels that his work is on track and moving in right direction. He sees convincing sign that things are working out,
giving him confidence in the choice he has made and confidence in the future. Okay, next. Okay, for the next reward, we have a extrinsic reward. So, extrinsic motivation is based on tangible rewards which are usually financial in nature, such as a raise in salary, a bonus for reaching some quota, or paid time off. However, extrinsic rewards can also be as simple as getting a better office, verbal praise, public recognition or awards, promotions, and additional responsibility. So, unlike agina nga intrinsic rewards is internal, extrinsic rewards or extrinsic motivation is external to the individual. Usually, this is offered by supervisors or managers who holds all power in relation to when these rewards are to be offered and in what amount and in what form. An extrinsically motivated person will work on a task that they do not particularly care for simply because of the anticipated satisfaction that will come from extrinsic reward. So these material rewards can be motivating man sa employees because of the extra pay, time off, advancement, and recognition are important to some of them. And next, please. Next is we have a innovative reward system. So this reward so this innovative reward system is these rewards are not yet widely tested but are being considered by the managers. So there are 7 of this, and the first one, please. Next. Next, please. Okay. So first one, we have skill-based pay. It refers to a pay system in which pay increases are linked to the number or depth of skills an employee acquires and applies, and it is a means of developing broader and deeper skills among the workforce. So the pay increase are usually tied in 3 types. So first one is horizontal skills, which involve a broadening of skills in terms of the range of tasks. So it is about training an employee to handle a multiple task, but then it is on a similar type lang. Example is if you are a machine operator and you are assigned to a different department wherein you are going to be a machine operator pa rin, pero you are going to operate a different machine. So, ginapawiden niya ang scope sang imong skills. So, the second one is vertical skills, which involve acquiring skills of a higher level. So, this one is the workers will level up on the chain of command. So, example again is the machine operator. First is you are only an experienced machine operator, then get promote ka to oversee the whole operating department. And then later on, get promote ka as the head of the production management again. So your level in work is leveling up. And the third one is the depth skills, which involves a high level of skills in specialized areas relating to the same job. So it is already your already acquired skills nga ging highly improve or ging develop lang. For example is, first is you are an engineer and then with all the training and practice, you became a high-level engineer. And next, for the second one, we have broad banding. A broad banding pay structure uses a small number of large salary pay ranges instead of many different pay grades within an organization. The main objective of a broad band is to reduce salary ranges within a certain level but introduce broader pay ranges within a job level or family. So this broad banding allows a flexibility in compensation, and when it has a flexibility in compensation, it flattens the hierarchy of an organization, which means though there is no level of management na. Example is in an engineering department again. In an engineering department, they may just combine all the classifications of engineers into a single engineering band, for which the allowed compensation will range from the pay level of the least skilled engineers to that of the high skilled engineers. For example, ang engineer has a median salary of 50%. Then, ang ila they have a pay range of 80% to 200%. the least skilled engineers will receive a 80% ng 80% of the median salary or 40,000, and then the high skilled engineers will receive the 200% of the median salary or the 100,000. And next please. We have here concierge services. So it is an employee benefit award which consists of making restaurant reservations, finding estimates for a home or automotive repair person, providing pet care vendors, doing personal shopping before holiday or etc. So the company is the one that is doing this to you and to the employee. The company is available to help you in your day-to-day life. And these services are available 24/7 in order to free the employees from a wide range of must-do activities pa nila and just concentrate na lang on their work or performance. And the next, please. We have here team-based rewards. So it is a monetary compensation that rewards individuals for teamwork or rewards the team for collective results. So there are 3 here. First one is profit sharing. It is a team-based incentive plan in which management pay their employees a percentage of their company's overall profit again, while the goal-based incentive is a team incentive reward that rewards employee for reaching a specific goal. And lastly, the merit-based incentive is the management reward employee teams for effort regardless of the outcomes ng ilang work. And next one, please. We have part-time benefits. Employers generally choose whether their part-time employees will receive most benefits. These benefits includes vacation time, holiday pay, sick leave, medical insurance, retirement benefits, and disability insurance. All are considered voluntary benefits since providing the benefits is at the employer's discretion. So although many employers only offer benefits sa ilang mga full-time employees, it is at the employer's own judgment na lang if mahatag pa siya benefits sa iya mga part-time employees since part-time na lang sila. And next, please, we have gain sharing. Similar to profit sharing plan, it is a team incentive in which management reward employee groups for measurable non-financial achievement in pre-established areas. So, ang example sa gain sharing niya is ang bonuses nga mabaton sang employees is ga-depend sa ila team productivity or sales volume. Unlike sa profit sharing nga didto ya ga-depend sa kung pila ang ma-profit sang ilang company, amo na ang dara ga-depend ang ila benefit na makuha. And then lastly, we have employee stock ownership. So an employee stock ownership program is an employee owner program that provides a company's workforce with an ownership interest in the company. Companies provide their employees with stock ownership, often at no upfront cost to the employees. So this is an employee benefit plan that gives workers a partial ownership in the company. Sang last, we have a teacher na na-share sa ato na sa before sa ginaobrahan niya is may amone nang they are allowed to buy some interest in the company. So shares are allowed to employees and may be held in an employee stock ownership program trust until the employee retires or leaves the company. The shares are then sold. And I guess that's the end of our report. Thank you for listening.
Sir Paswania.
Just go on. I'll be delivering my talk on the latter part. Thank you.
Okay, sa last part na lang, sir, after sharing moments.
Yeah, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So, I hope that you've learned something from the discussion, no? The reason why there's a need of evaluation of performance as well as giving rewards to employees. So, at this point of time, let us proceed to the part of the program wherein everyone is entitled to share their own opinions and views regarding with the topic, the presentation, and the overall event of the day. So let's start. First on the list, may we have the beautiful and stunning rich load supplier of BSA 2A, Miss Eloisa Faith Dipilio.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you. Thank you, Group 5. Thank you for that wonderful discussion. So Upon listening to the discussion, I have here some internalization about the certain topic. And a highly motivated workforce can make or break an organization's success. And when people are driven to work at higher levels of productivity, the company as a whole works more smoothly and effectively toward its objectives. Performance assessments can also be a useful tool for identifying an employee's potential. Managers get the opportunity to sit down and discuss directly with employees during a performance review to identify where they stand and where they envision themselves in the future. So managers can use this information to assist their employees in charting a successful career path that includes improving their performance and learning skills. So performance assessments are an important part of the talent management process because they ensure that businesses do all possible to keep high-performing personnel, and employees who are doing well and those who need to improve can both benefit from appraisals. Underperforming employees might benefit from performance appraisals because they can highlight particular training needs and skill gaps that need to be addressed. Employees can ask questions concerning changes in the workplace and how these changes will affect their function during a performance appraisal, because employees may feel as if their bosses or employers are not listening to them. So it is critical to ensure that all employees are aware that they are being heard and that their ideas are valued. Thank you.
So thank you for that very well said internalization, Miss Dipilio. And now, to give us some comments, may we have again, kung cute man lang ang pag-aistoryahan, si Maya ang number 1. Everyone, Miss Maya Kit Montevilla. Miss Maya? Ari si Miss Maya. So I guess wala si Miss Maya Kit. So let's proceed na lang sa suggestion which will be given by our sexy secretary, Miss Jaazel Romero.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, reporters. For the suggestions, I would like to suggest about your PowerPoint presentation that maybe you could adjust its font size because some slides are crowded with words. But I like how you deliver the entire program. Love the energy. Good job, Group 5.
Thank you, Ms. Jaazel. And to give us some reaction, ang ambassadress hindi lang sang BSA 2A but the ambassadress kabilog na Kamsi Fortune Town, the charming Miss Scarlett Vallarta.
So, good morning, everyone. So, just like the previous groups, the presenters for today's discussion did a great job in making their presentation both lively and informative. In fact, Ariane did a commendable performance as the moderator. I love how creative she is with the introductions. As a matter of fact, there was never a dull moment whenever she takes over the floor. And with regards to the group was able to do a good job in explaining the concepts well. So overall, every member of the group did a great job. So kung si Sir pa, bongga. So congratulations, Group 5.
So thank you, Miss Vallarta. And to give us some observation, may we have the innocent young lady of BSA 2A, Miss Georgette Guansha.
Observing the overall presentation, presenters indeed did a great job. The moderator lifted up the mood of everyone, influencing her energetic vibes. Before starting their presentation, they made a brain energizer to waken up the rest of the class. Moving to the first video they presented, the video presented their topic comprehensively, where it helps a lot of learners to understand the topic to be discussed. As for their picture analysis, each and everyone gave their expressive insights on every single picture presented. Moving forward, each reporter thoroughly explained the topics where they explained and interpret the ideas presented for us to better understand the topic. They also give example related to the topics and give a mini activity for some for related to the topic. Moreover, with the help of our professor, he gave an additional inputs about the report of the presenters where it helped out to explain thoroughly the topic and gave us an in-depth knowledge about the topic. That will be all. Thank you and congratulations.
So thank you, Miss Georgette. And now I guess Miss Maya is around na. So let's hear some comments from her. Miss Maya Kit.
Good morning. So Mia Kit can connect to us right now. So in behalf of her, I'm going to read her comments for us.
Okay,
So
okay.
she said, before anything else, I would like to congratulate the reporters for a very successful reporting. Everything went well and flows according to the program. I feel like I was in the real event. Every part seems exciting and I really enjoyed it, starting from introducing every participants who take part in the program. The greetings of the reporters in different language, which is a great idea, and of course, until the presentation ends. And I'm pretty sure that everyone enjoyed it as well. The topics were discussed by the reporters in details, proving that they really take time to study their parts for us to obtain the information we ought to obtain. I would like to express my admiration to the group's techniques to make this program successful. Indeed, it was a super duper ultra mega bonga. That's all. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Thank you, Miss Jovelyn. And now let's proceed to how valuable the topic is, which to be given by the pretty and humble wife of Lee Minho, Miss Lee Ann Dolman.
So actually, Miss Dulman was also busy in her
Wala man
husband
siya.
to
Okay,
read
okay.
So she says that the topic performance appraisal, feedback, and rewards is essential to the success of the business. It induces the employees to strive hard that leads to sustainable performance that will also lead to the improvement of the overall sustainability of the company. Giving positive reinforcement to the employees empowers them to give their best and it makes them feel that their efforts are being considered by the entity, thus making them feel that they are valuable to the company. This can also help them define successful career paths for their work and careers in both the short term and long term. Thank you.
Thank you again, Miss Jovelyn.
Okay, so the topic was all about performance appraisal, feedback, and rewards, which is important in a workforce. This topic will help every individual in the workforce to improve their chosen field. It is also important to learn performance appraisal since it can be highly useful for employee development purposes. Appraisal can provide guidance to employees who are doing well and employees who may require improvement. Performance appraisals can help underperforming staff by identifying specific training needs and skill gaps that require focus. While studying feedback in a workplace, it helps employees to learn from their mistakes and build confidence. It provides positive criticism and allows to see what everyone can change to improve their focus and results. Of course, in an organization, it is not only about performance appraisal and feedback, but also having rewards for a job well done in a workplace. Rewards make employees improve organizational values, enhance team efforts, increase customer satisfaction, and motivate certain behaviors among the individuals in the workplace. The reporters also did a job well done to deliver the report to the class, which will be used in the future, especially when everyone has its own job. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aligin. And now, to how would you like to prepare yourself? May we have, if ang ABS-CBN may Ayan Veneracion, of course, the BSA-2A has its very own Ayan Barbon.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. So how would I like to prepare myself? So basically, it is referring to the future, having having a better understanding of the importance and application of performance appraisal, feedback, and giving rewards that will motivate employees to perform effectively is really a big help to me if ever I would become a manager in the near future. The idea is that to prepare myself, I will master this topic by reading again and again, see, searching for additional informations that will help me to understand more its concept and application so that I can do my part effectively in the business. Also, if I can evaluate my employees better, then I would be able to know who among them have a good performance which deserve to receive reward and determine who perform less effective that need for improvement, which is also by means of motivation and training programs. So to conclude, I would prepare myself in a way that I will master this topic to be able to be an effective manager in the future, having employees that have full of motivation and positive mindset to perform better in order to achieve the success of the organization. So before I end, I would like to congratulate the group for the very informative discussion. The job well done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ian Barbon. And now, for something to share, may we have, kung sa puso daw ni Park Seo Joon ay siya ang nanalo, the ever so pretty and stunning Miss Melana Jane Manalo.
Hello, everyone, again. So I would like to congratulate Group 5 for a job well done today. For something to share, so the lesson today is essential for the company because companies use performance appraisals to determine employees have contributed the most to the company's growth, review progress, and reward high. This a feedback on employee performance in a company and what will the management do in order to motivate their employees. Poor employee experience can ripple your business for a lifetime. Unengaged, dissatisfied employees will never put their efforts into your organizational growth. So healthy and satisfied employees are the keys to a strong workplace and business success. So let me give an example of a company who had a successful way of boosting their business by giving focus on their employees. So are you all familiar with HP? Ang mga laptop na bala. So HP, the tech giant, gives us one of the greatest employee experience examples. So they increased their overall business performance in 2018 and managed to grow their stock prices. So do you know what their secret is? It's their employees. So HP shifted its focus on development opportunities and training its employees. They initiated several employees training of its employees and development programs, and also they updated their healthcare system. These initiatives help them create an engaging environment for their employees, and in return, the employees dedicated their efforts to increase the revenue of the company. But if we exert effort for the growth and development of our employees, they will in return exert effort for the growth and development of the company. Feedback also helps the company to shift their focus to address the issues and lacking. And of course, this would not be effective if there is no healthy communication that exists in the company. So that would be all. Thank you.
So thank you, Ms. Manalo. And now to share with us some learning experience, may we have the Jolly as Jollibee version 2.0, Mr. Peter John Mahinay. Mr. Mahinay, are you around?
We will go back to Mr. Mahinay later. Please proceed.
Okay, sir. So now for the recognition, may we have the calm and collected Ms. Hazel Hope Barcelona.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. For the presentation and program, I would like to recognize the participation of everybody, especially
Breaker, please come closer to the microphone. Hazel?
okay.
Hazel,
Okay,
please
Ana,
come
sir.
closer to the microphone. Thank you.
Okay na, sir. Sige, good morning,
Proceed.
okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. For the presentation and program, I would like to recognize the participation of everybody, especially for the group who have been able to discuss the topic effectively. I would like to recognize the smooth flow of their program. Also, the moderator did a great job in doing her role, making the class lively, and the reporters for delivering their presentation properly and comprehensively. I would also like to recognize Sir JJ for the additions and for backing up the presenters. Thank you very much, everyone, for today's learning, and congratulations, Group 5, for a job well done.
Thank you, Ms. Hazel Hope. And now, to give us some insight, may we have ang BSA 2A, may Rachel and Goman. Ang future ya galing wala sa singing but ara sa newscasting. Everyone, Ms. Rachel Tagalkal.
But before that, Miss Kagalkal, since you were identified as a newscaster, can you please do me a favor to do a short newscasting, please?
Sir, sir, wala ko kawala ko. Sige na nakuha ang newscaster nga ideas. Hatag na lang ko rin sa akong insight, sir. So performance appraisal is also referred to as the performance review or performance evaluation and employee appraisal. Performance evaluation is a technique for assessing an employee's work performance and overall contribution to the firm on a regular basis in order to enhance it. Feedback is provided for performance appraisals. It is a formal occasion for assessing job performance. It also aids in crucial personal choices such as bonus distribution, promotion, and termination. One of the important aspects of employee evaluation is that it is a shared obligation. It is, on the other hand, a joint obligation of the employee and the manager. While the manager takes the lead in this process, the employee's active participation fosters the buy-in that is required to achieve the improvements that the performance appraisal was designed to achieve in the first place. The goal of performance assessments is to provide feedback on an employee's performance so that any shortcomings can be addressed and new possibilities can be created. Employees aren't always happy with how the performance is evaluated. However, in order to provide feedback for improvement, some type of assessment is required. Employees may be motivated to achieve higher levels of performance or come up with more inventive solutions to challenge if their performance levels are recognized. That will be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel. So I guess Mr. Mahinay is already here. Peter? Ay, wala siya gihapon. So, let's skip na lang siya. So, ay, nasa Peter.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I've learned to this schedule appreciation to employees as well as giving facts necessary in order to assist employees
Breaker,
where they
Peter.
were. Yes,
Peter Breaker, please come closer to the microphone. I can't hear you. Peter, please come closer to the microphone. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. As what I have learned to this mode, appreciation to employees as well as giving feedback in order to assess employees where they were lacking and as to where they perform excellent. Performance appraisal are also called performance evaluation of each employees working in the organization. Information needed in order to assess the employees must be timely and relevant. Deficient information like lack of information in order to assess one's performance and contaminated information like adding unnecessary infos that is not essential to the employee's evaluation must not be promoted in making the entire evaluation. Generally speaking, performance appraisal is the best way to find where employees are lacking and where employees perform well. As far as I know, each company has a best employee of the month merit, which has a privilege to receive incentives. Okay, nagi.
Ay, sorry. Basi ako na-disconnect. Okay. Bation lang ko, guys. Kaya medyo kaulan na. Di bisamon.
Ariane, go ahead, please.
Okay, sir. So now, to give us some concrete example, may we have the one of the contributor of the world's most handsome man, Mr. Christopher Tristy Tubong.
Good morning. Thank you, Miss Ariane. The following are the examples of performance appraisal, feedback, and rewards, showing appreciation to employees' hard work. A manager showing approval towards employees' good performance and ideas. Evaluates the performance of employees in a fair and standardized manner, giving promotions rightfully. Listens to employees when they're voicing out their opinions, suggestions, or concerns. I have here 5 sample words of appreciation from managers or employers. 1. It's your dedication that contributed to our success. Thank you for inspiring us. 2. Every idea shared and every opportunity seized by you help us achieve the heights. Kudos to your efforts. 3. Your dedication is imperative for the growth of our company. Thank you for your efforts. 4. You probably haven't thought of anyone noticing you staying back late at the office. At, at the office. Well, you missed me out. Thank you for your efforts. 5. An employee's hard work is the fuel to great company culture. Thanks. Thank you for adding extra miles to ours. That would be my concrete example about the topic. Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Christopher. And now for the point of view of the manager, may we have the lover boy from Hinigaran, Mr. Lowell Miguel Maprangala.
Good morning, everyone. So considering the point of view of a manager, these appraisals, feedbacks, and rewards is indeed essential in motivating employees, especially in working for a certain goal. These factors drive some of the unmotivated employees to work for something where they will also be gaining something in exchange. This could be a way also for a firm to encourage its employees in doing something for them, for their hard work will be rewarded in return. Hence, it is an effective way of driving everyone to successfully achieve a certain goal. As a manager, recognizing my employees will make them feel that we see their value and their efforts for their success of the company. This is particularly a key when organizations grow or change. It helps employees build a sense of security in their value to the company, motivating them to continue doing a great work. That will be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Luel. And now for the point of view of the teacher, may we have the beauty and brain, Miss Gloria Ganarias.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So, in the point of the teacher, performance appraisals, feedback, and rewards are critical in the classroom setting. For instance, know and identify what type of reinforcement methods and schedules could be very helpful for the teacher to assess and control the behavior of every student. Classroom management can be a very challenging part of teaching. Keeping 20 to 30 students calm, engaged, and motivated to learn is no easy feat. For optimal learning, the teacher must have the students' behavior under control. It is also essential for the students to provide clear expectations to know what behaviors expect in the classroom. So, knowing what type of the schedules and methods and reinforcing students could help shape students' behavior. Also, teachers can provide the students with feedback suggestions for development, learning strategies, and correction for errors. The importance of constructive feedback allows for many positive opportunities. One crucial element is that feedback provides a foundation for positive student and teacher relationships. By giving appropriate feedback, the student understand the teacher is genuinely concerned about them and their education. This component also enhances a student's self-efficacy and provides an avenue for motivation. That would be all. Thank you.
So thank you, Glo. And lastly, for the point of view of the employee, may we have the most passionate and the Kylie Versosa lookalike of BSA 2A, Miss Jika Kandar.
Hello, good morning, everyone. And I would like to share about the point of view of an employee. First, performance appraisals, feedback, and rewards is essential for the employees as it helps employees work efficiently. And employees really should have a say in their evaluation and provide their own feedback to the company as part of the process. Using ideas and insights from the employees can help the company build more effective and productive processes and systems that can improve employees' job satisfaction and increase motivation as the company continues to care for the employees, giving them an interactive and friendly environment that do not just treat them as objects, but as true people, as it assists the employee in seeing how her role in the organization contributes to the company's overall success, thus increasing employee morale and keep them committed in the company. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jika. And now let's proceed to the second video presentation. Mariel, wala sound ay.
Strong performance appraisals are the backbone of effective performance management. So let's start with a couple of definitions. First, performance management refers to the processes that ensures an organization connects mission with the work of employees. Outcomes of effective performance management include clarifying job responsibilities and expectations, enhancing individual and group productivity, developing employee capabilities through effective feedback and coaching, driving behavior to align with an organization's values, goals, and strategies, providing the basis for making human resource decisions, and improving communication between employees and managers. Performance appraisals, also known as performance reviews, guide the process of determining how well employees do their jobs relative to a standard and communicate that information to them. Performance appraisals ensure effective outcomes of performance management are realized. For the purposes of this course, we'll look at the development and management of performance appraisals. By development, we mean the process of creating performance appraisal tools. And by management, we mean the planning, organizing, and leading of performance appraisals. So let's start with development. When developing your performance appraisal tools, align your organizational culture with the tool that you design. When developing a performance evaluation form, do your homework. Find evaluation forums from similar organizations or organizations that share your philosophy of performance management. Use Google or other internet research tools to find organizations or professional associations that provide good examples of what performance tools should look like. Review these results or forms for characteristics that fit your needs. Get inspired through what others are doing and consider how these tactics might be applied in your performance appraisal development. Perhaps most importantly, your performance appraisal tool should be easy to understand and use. Provide clear instructions and examples so managers and employees know exactly what information is required in each section. Make sure your evaluation form follows a logical, sequential order. Document design is critical when creating your evaluation form, and avoid forms that require a lot of jumping around or cross-referencing. Well, it's up to an organization to decide which elements to include in an appraisal. There are 6 recommended elements I'd like to explore. First, demographic information. Second, rating methods. Third, job application or job relatedness. Fourth, self-evaluation. Fifth, SMART goals. And finally, sixth, employee development tools. These standard elements will create a user-friendly and useful appraisal tool for your organization. Let's take a look at each. Your performance tool should include demographic information about the employee, people manager, assessment period, and other pertinent information to make the performance management process run smoothly. While a plethora of research and data exists about the usefulness of ranking scales and methods, the following is a simple summary of two popular methods available for your performance appraisals. First, a graphic rating scale, which is a scale that allows a rater to mark an employee's performance on a continuum. I recommend no more than a 5-point scale. Second, behaviorally anchored rating scales, which are scales that describe specific examples of job behavior, which are measured against a performance scale. Again, no more than 5 points. As no single method is best for every situation, a method used in a combination of approaches might be the best solution for you. Next, your performance tools should be job-related, connecting the work an individual does with organizational mission and results. Your performance appraisal tools should be directly connected to an employee's job description. Create different evaluation forms for specific roles. Notably, distinguish non-supervisory and supervisory roles. This might mean separate forms for job groups, classifications, or types. I'd recommend a flexible form that references the job description of an employee when addressing role-based competencies. Including employee self-evaluation as part of your performance management process gives employees an active role to play. Done properly, employee self-evaluations can provide several key benefits to the organization. Rather than simply being a recipient of feedback from their manager, the employee is given a voice and can inform and shape their performance appraisals and ratings. This active participation helps them be more engaged with both their performance and the review process overall. And a self-assessment allows the manager to view performance through the employee's eyes. Include space for an employee and people manager to develop and assess performance-related goals. A goal is a statement of desired outcomes towards which effort is directed. I believe that well-defined goals are among the most effective communication tools available to any leader in the performance management process. So consider using SMART criteria to craft your goals. To make your goal SMART, it needs to conform to the following criteria, the SMART criteria. First, a specific goal is clear, unambiguous, and focuses on one topic area. It can be communicated to others without confusion because it's well-defined and easily understood. A measurable goal has a definable endpoint that's quantifiable through numbers or percentages that can easily be measured. An achievable goal is a goal that's possible to accomplish. A relevant goal is one that helps you achieve your desired performance outcome, and it's important to you and the organization. Finally, a time-based goal is a goal that has a scheduled completion date. For employees, a performance appraisal can be the primary source of information and feedback from a people manager. By identifying employee strengths, weaknesses, potentials, and training needs through the performance appraisal feedback process, supervisors can inform employees about their progress, discuss areas in which additional training may be beneficial, and outline future development plans. Our second area of focus highlights the importance of managing your performance appraisal process through training, maintaining high standards of feedback, and strong documentation. Most performance systems can be improved by training supervisors in how to do performance appraisals. Since conducting appraisals is important, training should center around minimizing grader errors, providing great feedback, and giving graders details on documenting performance information. Feedback is essential to any strong performance management system. Both positive and constructive feedback should occur as soon as possible. No performance feedback should be left to an annual performance appraisal meeting. I often say there should be no surprises in performance management. It's critical to be specific when providing performance feedback. As a matter of fact, a recent Gallup study shows the impact of different kinds of feedback on employees. The most telling conclusions from the studies include the following. Managers giving little or no feedback to employees result in 4 out of 10 workers being actively disengaged at work. Employees receiving predominantly negative feedback from their manager are over 20 times more likely to be engaged than those receiving little or no feedback. And finally, only 1% of employees who received positive feedback were actively disengaged, compared to a whopping 40% of those who didn't receive feedback at all. There's a simple acronym and model to help you give great feedback. The EARN feedback process defines the method for communicating feedback for maximum clarity and development. First, event. Provide your employee with the place and time during which the action or behavior which you're providing feedback was observed. Next, action. Describe the specific action or behavior that you're providing feedback on. Result. Explain the impact or consequence of the behavior or action. Finally, next steps. Provide a specific request to change or continue the identified action or behavior, or ask for ideas on how to move forward. HR professionals recognize that strong documentation is critical in performance management. Their challenge is to teach managers how to document performance issues in an appropriate manner. The purpose of documenting performance problems isn't just to protect the employer in the case that a worker files a lawsuit. It's also to show the steps that were taken to help someone be successful at work. Performance documentation must tell a story, rooted in fact, painting a descriptive picture of employee behavior with words. Good documentation creates credibility for the employer by showing that employees are treated in a fair and consistent manner. However, some common mistakes in documentation are made. Here's 3. First, making vague, unclear statements about what the employee needs to do to improve. Second, adding personal attacks or subjective comments. And third, providing little or no evidence to support decisions of discipline or performance management intervention. Regardless of the approach used, managers need to understand the intended outcome of performance management systems. When performance management is genuinely used to develop employees as resources, it works. In its simplest form, performance appraisals are observation. Here are your strengths, your weaknesses, and here's a way to develop the future.
So thank you for that video, Miss Marielle. And now let's proceed to the Q&A portion, wherein we will entertain 3 members of the class to ask some questions. So first, we have here Miss Maria Cristina Colbe.
Good morning, everyone, again.
Morning.
For my first question, in the 4 enumerated methods that you said the managers is using in controlling the behavior of the employees, which of those methods do you think were less likely to convince employees to change their behavior?
As discussed earlier, there are 4 methods in controlling the behavior of the employees. Positive reinforcement implies giving a positive response when an individual shows positive and required behavior. Negative reinforcement, this means rewarding an employee by removing negative or undesirable consequences. Punishment implies removing positive outcomes to lower the probability of repeating unwanted behavior in the future. And lastly, extinction suggests the absence of reinforcement. To address your question, I think the method that was less likely to convince employees to change their behavior is punishment, because any behavior changes resulting from punishment are often temporary. It is also important to note that reinforcement and punishment are not simply opposites. The use of reinforcement in changing behavior is almost always more effective than using punishment. It is because reinforcement makes the person or animal feel better, helping create a positive relationship with the person provided the reinforcement. On the other hand, punishment is more likely to develop only temporary changes in behavior because it is based on constraint and typically creates an opposed relationship with the person providing the reinforcement. When the person who provides the punishment leaves the situation, the unwanted behavior is likely to return. For example, prison sentences often occur long after the crime has been committed. which may help explain one reason why sending people to jail does not always reduce criminal behavior. That's all. Thank you.
So for our next question, may we have it from Mr. Mark Vince Soliano.
Thank you, Ariane. So, considering the situation of the economy right now, between the intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, which of the two rewards do you think will be more valuable to the employees?
Thank you for your question, Mark. Let's always keep in mind that true motivation in the work must come from within. So it must be intrinsic because these prizes or rewards, which is the extrinsic rewards, maybe just force someone into performing a certain action. Remember that compliance is not a motivation. But with your question, putting the current economy scenario, I think most of the employees will go for maybe extrinsic reward first, but then later on they will put more value on the intrinsic rewards because maintaining motivation is becoming an increasing challenge for many during this pandemic. Maybe the first half of the plague pushed our employees into an external motivation mode since they can now do their neglected chores. But in the end, the isolation can undermine enthusiasm of the employees. So for me, intrinsic rewards is the most valuable to them right now because most of the employees or even us lacks motivation to do a task that we even know how to do, but sometimes we are unable to face it. Thank you.
Okay, for our last question, may we hear it from Miss Jobely Villarante.
Thank you. Based on your report, you said there are different types of performance appraisals. Which of them do you think were least effective when applied and why?
Among the 10 appraisals method, I think the least effective when applied is the self-evaluation method. Why? Because self-evaluation is not always accurate for it lacks an outside viewpoint. As much as the employee tries to be unbiased, there's only so much impartiality he or she can bring on the process of evaluating himself or herself. Either employees will rate themselves too highly or employees will be too critical. There is also a possibility of conflict between the employees' ratings and their manager's rating. In addition, some employees are reluctant to fill the self-appraisal forms for they consider it to be their manager's job. Thank you.
So thank you for that. And now let's proceed to the recapitulation. So may we have Miss Kay Angeli Ondong.
Breaker.
Hi, sir.
Before we going to proceed to recapitulations, allow me to say something and to beef up the discussions. Maybe we're going to ask ourselves why reward is important, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the issue is to reward or not to reward. This is a question that many employers will face at one time or another, deciding whether staff should be praised for their recent work and then deciding how to go about this can be a minefield, particularly if you have a large workforce. But put simply, the answer is yes. You should definitely be rewarding your staff. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Are you all listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so employee recognition plays an important role in company's culture, and rewarding staff for their hard work has a number of benefits both parties. Showing your staff you appropriate them can increase productivity, encourage teamwork, and even help you to attract talented new recruits to your business. So you can really afford not to showing your gratitude. Below are the things that makes rewards very important. Number one, it would come up with boosting morale. Boosting morale. No one wants to feel underappreciated at work. And rewarding staff is important to get up morale. When employees feel like they're being recognized for their efforts, they're likely to be happier in their role as a result of your business. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And please believe me that there are a number of ways you can reward your staff. But introducing fun or interesting incentives can really help to increase a great working environment. Okay? It might could be that this could also increase productivity. What did I say? Increase productivity. Okay? So staff that enjoys their job and feel appreciated by their employer will be more productive. This goes for big and small companies. Rewarding staff doesn't always mean a costly gesture. A simple thank you in your email will also go a long way. Okay? You can also use rewards to ensure staff are working in line with the overall aims of the business. Okay? It could also attract new recruits. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Reading on this, happy staff are also more likely to recommend you as an employer. Finding and hiring new employees can be tricky. Therefore, it's very vital for you to do all you can to make the process easier. Employer branding is becoming increasingly important for today's workforce, and with anonymous review sites making it easy for professionals to share their honest opinion about business online, any negative reviews can be extremely damaging. Okay, it could also have retaining existing staff. Okay, as well as attracting new recruits. Rewarding staff is important if you have to retain your existing employees. With the current skills gaps, making it more important to keep hold of talented workers. Employee engagement is very crucial. Staff that are recognized and praised for their hard work are going to be more satisfied in their role, and as a result, more loyal to the business. Stop rewarding your staff and you could risk them looking somewhere for an employer who makes them feel that they are valued. So never to stop giving of rewards. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
And also, having the rewards, it could offer feedback. Feedback is very important to today's professionals. You agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
it helps them to understand what they're doing right. Reward schemes can be a fun way to offer feedback to your staff. While this should not replace regular catch-up annual reviews, monthly award schemes or bonuses can boast that staff need to know their working isn't going unnoticed, that they're obviously doing something right, and that they should continue the hard work. Have you tried to notice? With this, I will give you a very good and concrete example. Like McDonald's, like Jollibee, like Chowking, they have the outstanding model employee for the month. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for those who are working in the call center, they are also giving recognitions for their employees as the most outstanding employee for the month. Is that clear? That is recognizing the efforts of every employee because they are deserving. So never to stop giving of rewards to the employees because this could prevent high rate of labor turnover or separations of our workers from our organizations. Right? Did you get me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So with this, it is clear that rewarding staff isn't about boasting their ego. It has a number of important benefits for employers too. No one wants to feel undervalued. Do you want to feel undervalued?
No, sir.
All right. Remember that as employee, we have the need for us to be valued. We need for us to be recognized because it is our need. We need to be given worth as an employee because we are human beings that has feelings and emotions. Therefore, whatever good things the employees was able to contribute for the good and for the betterment of the organization's management should look into it by way of giving rewards. Did you get me?
Yes, sir.
It's important that all employees receive recognition for the work they do. Are you following? And
Yes,
there
sir.
are so many ways to show your workforce that you care. So you have to care your employees. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Did you get something?
Yes, sir.
Let us do our share to care our employees. That's all. Thank you very much. Proceed.
Thank you, Sir Paswania, for that additional information. And now let's proceed to the recapitulation, which will be given by the girl or the adorable key of a Coldsman heart. So may we have Miss Kay Angeli Ondong?
Thank you, Ms. Arian. So as a recap, our report is about performance appraisals, feedback, and rewards. The motivated workforce can be a significant factor on organizational success. As what Sir JJ said, everyone loves to be appreciated. For this reason, it is important to evaluate and appreciate employees by giving rewards to increase productivity. The first reporter defined the performance appraisals and discussed the purposes and focus of performance appraisal. Also, she discussed the first four types of performance appraisals, and the rest types was discussed by the second reporter. Sir J.J. Pesuena gave tips for effective performance appraisals and also gave thorough discussion about the topic. Performance appraisal subtopic also includes 8 ways to improve performance appraisals. Next topic is the performance appraisal feedback and has a subtopic of effectiveness of performance appraisals feedback with 3 elements needed to ensure the effectiveness of feedback. The third topic is the reinforcement theory with subtopic of reinforcement schedules. The fourth and the last topic is the employee reward programs, which includes 3 subtopics, namely intrinsic rewards, extrinsic rewards, and innovative reward system. And lastly, the last reporter also discusses the 7 ways to approach such rewards. That's all. Thank you.
So, thank you for that, Miss Angeli. And now, ang BSA 2A, kung may Jovelyn, kag may Jovelyn, syempre may Jovalman. So everyone, to give the impression from the presenters, may we have Mr. Joval Tolentino.
Thank you and good morning once again. First and foremost, I want to thank the group for the interactive and informative discussion. This program has been a great success in all possible respects. My impression to the group and to your performance can be explained through these adjectives: punctual, prepared, and productive. Punctual, it is because the discussion started on time, and prepared since the group is well prepared given the fact that you have provided us with audio and visual aids, activities, and a thorough analysis to better understand the topic. I want also to acknowledge the reporters and the mediator for being an effective communicators. And of course, in general, it is a productive endeavor in which lively and positive discussions are well encouraged and participants like me are given the chance to evaluate the program. I would like to give comment on your presentation. I suggest to play your slideshow in full screen view to provide us viewers with a larger visuals of the topic. Overall, the group has put up an imaginative, participative, innovative, and engaging discourse. Thank you and congratulations.
So thank you for that, Mr. Joval. And now to hear some announcement, may we have Miss Mary Ann Porcel.
So again, good morning everyone, and thank you for actively participating in today's program. Not later this day, we will be posting the requirements for our program in our Inmodo class and our group chat. It will include the attendance, documentations, weekly monitoring report, and the recorded video. We are sorry in advance if there will be delays. We are trying our best to post it as soon as possible. For a further announcement, our next meeting will be next Saturday, August 28, 2021, hosted by the last group, Group 6, the group of Miss Marie Claire Regala. The topic to be discussed would be stress management and well-being. Everyone is encouraged to participate in the event actively because the subject or the issues are exciting and helpful, especially in this time of pandemic. The Google Meet link will be provided on the same day, an hour before the program started. Everyone is encouraged to log in 30 minutes before the set time to begin in time and avoid delays. The people to participate in the program, please be ready. If there are problems, don't hesitate to contact the group as soon as possible to address the concerns. Also, please be reminded that our quiz and exam are scheduled for August 30 and 31. That will be on Monday, on Tuesday next week. Quiz and examination will be both posted on the Edmudo class. The coverage for the exam and quiz would be our topic, the Module 5, Performance Appraisal, Feedback and Rewards, and the Module 6, Stress Management and Well-being. That's all, and again, thank you everyone and have a nice day.
Thank you, Ms. Mary Ann. And now for the closing remarks, may we have the leader of today's In Charge group, Ms. Jovelyn Octavio.
Well, we do hope that we were able to deliver the topics very well to everyone. To those who participated in our program, thank you very much. All of your participations were really appreciated. You guys helped us put this program into a success. To my group mates, good job to us. And to Mr. JJ, thank you for listening and understanding our minor interruptions. And I guess all is well. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day ahead.
So thank you, Miss Jovelyn. And so I guess that we are done for today. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sir Peswenia. And again, this is your host, Arian Crisel Patrivo. Have a blessed day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Group 5, for a job well done. This is very amazing. Shall we have a virtual round of applause to Group 5 performance? Thank you very much. This is a very engaging, very fruitful, very productive, very effective, very efficient participation, involvement, contribution, cooperations, and support of the members of the group. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to say and to express my sincerest statement of saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our activity for today. This ends up our activity. Thank you and mabuhay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.